Weird, weird thing. Oh man, you can't always trust technology. Weird things that just be popping up in the last moment. And that just shaved off some time. Ugh. So, for whatever reason, program that I didn't touch, everything was working great. And then I got a little notification that popped up and says that there's a new update to the program. And I'm like, we're gonna check this out after the stream. But then all of a sudden, everything went down. Camera started locking up. Sound wasn't working properly. It was some weird stuff going on. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Hopefully everything is good now that we're officially late. Something I don't really do, but we're here nonetheless. Anyway, I'm gonna dive right into the actual thing that's been on my mind. It was something I wanted to talk about yesterday, but I didn't necessarily have the opportunity. Things happened. I had to back out. And I was talking about I wanted to talk about addictions, right? And rather how the things that we don't look at that's actually addictions, but that we don't look at as addictions, but they actually are, because we only really pay attention to the more solid foundational ones, right? So when it comes to the idea of sobriety, right? Sobriety is, we think that if they just stop, we stop doing the thing, and we're off our addictions, right? It could be a drug, could be a prescription, could be drinking, could be a lot of stuff, right? But just because you are no longer doing that particular thing, just because you're perceived to look like you are sober, doesn't mean that your addictions aren't still with you. And that's where I kind of want to get started today, because I think a lot of people hear that and they immediately start tensing up for the wrong reasons. The line sounds like it's disrespecting sobriety, even to some people's thing. And that's not necessarily what I'm doing here. For a lot of people, being sober, sobriety can mean a lot of things. It can save a life. It can be necessary for family and friends. It can be that thing that stops somebody from destroying themselves. What I'm saying is that it's different. I'm saying the removal of a substance doesn't not automatically remove the deeper dependencies that people have. A lot of people can be sober and they still have the same kind of pull that's running underneath in their life. And that may look like, and that it may not look the same anymore to some people, but for other people, you can see that they still have particular habits that still feel that. And what tends to happen is that one person just shifts one habit to another habit and find a new routine. They find another source of relief, or there are other things they start reaching out that they never actually started getting into in life, and that starts bringing on new challenges to not just them, but also to other people around them. And once that happens, I think people stop knowing what to really call what is it they're actually looking at. And that's where this conversation kind of gets a little interesting for me, because a lot of people still treat addiction like it only counts when a substance matter is involved. And that gives people this very limited window of what they're looking through. The second the second people start seeing the things that are visible gone, like taking pills, like actually drinking, uh, like actually getting high off of other substances, people start people start looking like the problem is gone when it's not. It just looks neater because you can't see it directly. Some people get sober and still say very deep to their actual distractions. to the thing that's actually still calling to them. While other people get sober and they move harder into work, they move harder into, say, validation, maybe even into chaos, maybe into sex, maybe they seek more attention from other people in order to fill those needs. Maybe a lot of people just want to get praises. I see that a lot that happens online as well. The validation, the chaos, and the praise. The idea of being wanted is another reason why people get addicted as well. Love bombing, believe it or not, for a lot of people can be a sign of addiction. Whatever gives them enough of that shift in order to say they're really trying to be very much directed, focused directly on themselves and that and those needs. And that doesn't mean that every habit, by the way, is an addiction. It does mean that a cleaner habit can still own somebody, even if it never looks like the role that they're playing is a habit itself. And I think that's the part that a lot of people don't really pay attention or they conveniently skip over. So, what are some of the real issues? And the problem with the public conversation around addiction, at least for me, is that it is too easy to recognize only the ugly versions of it. Once a habit has enough visibility, enough damage attached to it, then people feel confident. Now that they know exactly what the word is and how it is used. Now they know how to judge it. Now they know where to file it in their heads. What confuses, I think, people, again, my opinion, I think the thing that confuses people is when the dependency stops looking ugly and it starts looking ordinary. This is where that language starts getting weak for a lot of people because a person can need constant stimulation and they call it having a busy life. A person can need praise and they call it motivation. I'm just getting active. A person can need chaos around them and they call it that they're just being passionate. Somebody else can need endless distractions and they're calling it how their life is now. And I wonder about that because I see people getting attached to other things when they get into moments where it's really calm. Instead of just finding themselves at peace, they get agitated. That is where I think things start getting slippery when I'm looking at people. Because once a dependency fits inside a normal looking routine, people stop checking for the same seriousness that's around them. And it was so interesting because I was having this conversation with somebody who I'd been observing. And when I started having a conversation, you'd be surprised all the stuff that was happening around the background. I mean, I'm going to keep a lot of it to myself because I was asked to, but it's very interesting. And this is why I keep separating the idea of sobriety from the aspect of what freedom is, because freedom is much deeper than that. Because freedom means that the thing does not have to be that kind of authority over you anymore. It doesn't get to decide what your mood is first and how quickly your mood is dictated. It just doesn't do it. It does not get to shape the way that your day is so easily. You get to actually feel free and you get to feel flexible in the choices that you get to make. You don't have to worry about discomfort being the thing that's going to tackle your entire being. A person can stop using substances and still never reach that point where they can actually start feeling flexible in their life, where they can feel like their choices are really their own. I think what people keep missing, I think, this is where a lot of folks get lazy with the conversation. They focus on the object and they never ask what the actual object is doing to the person. And I don't, again, not the physical, the obvious things that we can look at as being uh, an abuse or an addiction. But what are the characteristics? What are the underlying things that can be looked at as an addiction? And that is where I would like to stay longer when I'm looking at people. What was that particular substance that they were originally doing having an effect on? What was the inner thing that they were trying to actually solve? What was that quiet something deep down that they were either trying to avoid and escape? What was the thing that they were really relying on substances on to create distance or give them relief? What exactly were they, why they kept chasing those substances in order to produce a rush? Was it filling emptiness? I wonder. And everybody has a different reason, but we realize that when they move away from substances, those reasons don't seem to go away with their sobriety. And then they find new ways. If that deeper role is still sitting there, but somehow it's untouched, then removing the substance only solves a part of the actual issue. The route hasn't really changed. They still need to stay active. They still need to figure out that thing. So exactly are they going to be doing about it? And I find it very interesting because when I speak to some people who are going through this, the message isn't really clear. The same dependency may now be running through something else or someone else because they use other people as well. And the damage that they're doing becomes less visible. And that is why I think people can fool themselves with the surface improvements, but not with the deeper ones. This is why a lot of people don't want to be to themselves. Even when they're by themselves, they take part in substances because it keeps them distracted from really dealing with themselves. A life can look more put together and it can still be held up by the same needs. I find this fascinating, but I also find it rather depressing in some ways. Because the outside can seem calm deep down while the inside is still handling so much. And it's just trying to maintain whatever control that it can. And that's not nothing. Improvements matter. It just, it does not always mean that the person feels free. It's interesting. And I think a lot of people know exactly what I mean when they stop reducing these surface level topics to substances only. Most people can point at something in their life that has to do with the actual pull as to why they're dealing what they're dealing with or how they're dealing with substances. They may not even feel like it's a big deal, but by avoiding it, they don't even realize how much extra mental strain that they're using just for that. And then for them not to deal with it, they find other ways to quote relax or just take the edge off, and that becomes something deeper down the road. Something that, and I'm even thinking about some interactions I've had with people, but I'm also thinking about myself as well. So there are some things that can shift a person's state of their mind too quickly instead of taking the time to actually think about it. Something that they lean on too hard, too much. Something that they don't want to lose because of what it will possibly do to them, to confront it, to just deal with it. And that deserves a deeper look. Where it goes. Sorry, there's a whole bunch of noise. Hold up. Jesus Christ. Um, sorry, that just totally threw me off. I don't know what was going on there. Uh, so what happens once a substance is gone? I think that's the next question I'm looking to try to tackle when it comes to people. What happens when the next? What happens when the substance is gone? When the matter is more than what the people is willing to admit? Where does the pendency go? Hmm, that's that's the question. Where does that go? Does it move into work? Does it slide into other forms of attention? Did it live inside your business suit? Are you just being busy? Are you seeking approval? How urgent is this thing? And some some take it by streaming. The idea of that noise that keeps them from having to sit down quiet for too long. So they get busy by streaming. I didn't even think about that, but that's definitely a possibility. We're talking about where addictions become the broader conversation because it stops being only about what looks destructive on the surface, and it can start becoming more of a conversation about what a person still can and cannot be without. You said people, the next dependency is people. Could be. You said you love drugs. Some people do. And some people can't be without them. Some people don't want to be with drugs and they form a dependency. I think this is a harder frame because it doesn't let somebody just hide behind that first victory when they were able to just escape the drug that they were on because now they have to keep taking it. A person can say they stopped the old thing and fine, good, that matters. But what comes after it? I think that's where honesty starts. You said you're dependent on kick. You said you're dependent on nicotine. You love shrooms. Can't stop them. Okay, I mean, see how long it lasts. Never a druggie. Well, even that becomes an addiction. Sex is an addiction. Not to all, but there are some. And this is where I think people usually get uncomfortable because the answer may not be so dramatic, and I know a lot of people love their drama, but it may not look like a damn dark spiral either. It may look normal to a lot of people. So you can say that there are definitely people who want to engage in taking shrooms. But if you're also not even worried about what the adverse effect of that is, or if you're taking shrooms to hide from other things, and nicotine, again, it's another addiction, but what's the reason for you taking nicotine? Is it because you just can't feel the need to stop now? One of the one of the largest addictions, even though it can and it cannot affect how a person moves and how they're motivated, is alcohol. Some people are very negligent with it, and some people function just fine. Some people are the same way with heroin. But what are the adverse effects? You need it, and trying to stop it can be not so pleasurable. And let's be honest, the problem with addictions is that there's no cure for them. You can only treat it, you can't cure it. But let's just be honest. That's the same way with life. You can only treat issues, you can't cure them. If you really are taking a look at it. So you can take your drugs, it may blend into your life, especially when nobody else is around to actually say anything about it. But what are the adverse effects in the long run? And most people who I can actually run across turn around and say that if they could, same way for sex, by the way, if they could hold off on these things, that they would absolutely choose to do so. Because these things take up a lot of your energy because you're focused on them. And a lot of people say, well, if I wasn't drinking, if I wasn't smoking, if I wasn't engaging in so much sex, my focus would be on so many other things. But because these things, these addictions are always on my mind, they take up a lot of my mental space. Instead of chasing a lot of things that I want to do, I end up chasing these things because I need my next fix. I think that's the part that makes it hard for a lot of people. Dependency. Because dependency is the thing that they need in order to survive longer, even when it's messy. But what about the other things that we look at as distractions? Look at this whole thing with people who do on social media. Because there are people who are on social media who have relatively no, relatively, I'm just putting out there, relatively not many friends in real life, but have so many online. And again, you can find social communities and people that you want to like be like-minded, whatever. But there are people who it's an addiction to be online because maybe in their real life it's not as exciting. Maybe they're not really getting all the attention that they feel that they need or they deserve. But yet online, they're more popular. And they're wondering why their outside life does not reflect their online life. There are people who will turn around and say, well, I'm not going to take particular opioids and I'm off those things now. But you know what they're addiction to? They're addicted to attention. They're addicted to the names and the comments flying on the screen. They are addicted to the comment section. They are addicted. And by the way, social media helps push this. They're addicted to the likes. This can become an addiction to the point where people are willing to do things. Validation, I agree. People are willing to do things for anything for clout. That's how we got into this whole thing with social media. Anything for clout. Even to be destructive towards oneself, one's family, and one's friends. Willing to sacrifice everything, especially over people that they never met in their real life. Willing to put other people who they actually do know, real life, in harm's way for the attention for the masses of people that they've never met. There's an addiction there. People who are willing to sacrifice all that they truly know for things that they think they might have. What happens when you get your 15 minutes of fame, let's say, and you lose your channel? What do? You can say, I'm going to start a whole new channel. Sure. But are you going to get everyone back? No, you're not. So now how does one feel about losing the people that they have because they want to do anything? There are a lot of people who get online and they all want to believe that they're going to be 50 Cent. That they're just going to get online, trash talk whoever they want, and it's going to make them noticed. That doesn't happen for the majority of people. And yet some people still look at it as a viable strategy to this day. Is it reverse parasocial relationships? You know, because the thing about parasocial, so when you say like it's reverse parasocial relationships, I'm not sure if reversed. The thing about parasocial relationship is that there's nothing really positive or negative about parasocial relationships. There are relationships that are just terrible, and there are relationships that are good. Not all relationships are seen equal. There are relationships where one person is fine and the other person is not. The only difference is that there's this weird online dynamic that happened with it. Now, my thing about parasocial relationships, right? Here's my thing about it. It is the thing that I'm thinking about when it comes to parasocial relationships is how much of our not real selves are poured into people who we pretend to be. I say we because I see a lot of people who pretend to be things that they're not. And since I have to be online, I'm just going to include myself into a bubble and then pretend to be people that they're not, to do things that they don't do, to say things they really don't say in real life, and to behave in ways that are not beneficial to them. You said it feels real? I don't take Here's my thing. You're right. I think a lot of people get so caught up the the euphoria of it that maybe it feels real and they can't tell the difference. But I think this says more about the person themselves. A person who's really engaged with a lot of things in life, be it on and off life. These are people who actually do touch grass. These are people who actually have good relationships on and in and out of the internet. I think these are the people that are not really affected. I think the people that don't really have much action going on in their real lives are the people that treat this more seriously. Like, Gatsby, let's be honest. Should we really be getting in an outrage over somebody who shows up and talks shit and wears maybe a dog avatar? Of course not. Who the fuck is this person? So because they speak English and they talk trash, you should feel offended? Of course not. But how many people do? They're talking shit about me. And in my mind, it's like, so fucking what? So what? For some reason, people forget how to be adults. And to be honest with you, not many people know how to be adults even still to this day. The majority of people who watch me are between the ages of 33, a little lower, but roughly between 33 and 45. That's the majority. I get older, I get younger, but that's the bulk of people around me. And I'm surprised. I am thoroughly surprised, but not surprised at the same time that there are so many people. Here's my thing. I'm not surprised that there are people who just don't act more mature. I'm not surprised about that. I am bewildered at how ongoing it goes, even when it's being called out. That's what I'm surprised at. So you know this is happening because you had a conversation about it, or it's been brought to your attention, and yet you continue. I mean, there are people who seek more attention online, I believe, than they do in their real life. There are people, by the way, who will find more courage to do things online than they would in real life. And I'm not just talking about the trash talking. I'm talking about how about just being able to hit on the opposite sex. I see people that are willing to hit on the opposite sex on the internet, so long as they never get to show their face, really. Most of the people who I see hit on the opposite sex in the internet never show their face. I think Ooh, could you imagine what the internet, what online spaces would be like if the only way that you could ever really converse with somebody is that if you had no choice but to show your face? Not the aspect of hiding behind avatars, VTubes, and all kind of other stuff like that. But you had to either show up or ship out. Could you imagine? Because there are people that even though people wouldn't know their actual real name, if people couldn't actually, even if you couldn't see their real name, but you can see their face, I believe there's a lot of people that still wouldn't have the courage to nut up or shut up because they will be worried about how they look to the other person. They look nervous or they're fidgeting or whatever, or they don't look clean or they don't look sharp or they don't look prepared or they got a mess around them or whatever. I agree. That would be great because can I just be honest, Gatsby? That even if you couldn't, even if we still had all our names, the names that we choose, whatever, honeypot, butt plug, 424, whatever your name is, whatever, even if that was your name, but you had no choice. If you wanted to have conversation with somebody, anyone you wanted to have a conversation with, you had to be on camera. A lot of people would be church mice pissing on cotton. They would be quiet. You would never hear from them. You will have a lot of people who would not be on the internet even starting shit because why? They will be too afraid of having their faces out there. They will be too afraid of someone being able to really run up on them. You know what? You know what? You talking all that shit? You live there? I hope I run across you because I'm gonna fly to California. I hope I run across you. I'm gonna be in California next week. I don't know what part of California you're at, but I hope I run across you. I hope I run across you. And since I know what you look like, when I'm just walking in the streets, I'm walking on the beach or something, just keep in mind, I'm gonna keep your face in my head. I think a lot of people would change their tune about how they behave. Let's be honest, a lot of people don't show their faces online. A lot of people won't even show their face on their avatar because they think they're so important that someone's gonna know who I am. There are people who won't even go online who don't have avatars and they won't even let their voice be heard. They use voice changers because they believe that their voice is so important, it's so distinctive that everybody's gonna possibly know who they are. What? You think your voice is that important? Who you think you are? Mike Tyson? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are that your voice is just that important? And then actually, if everybody could, would, and absolutely should have their faces online, then it would fall. My rules will fall so well across the internet. First one, be mindful what the fuck you say. Don't think that your screen name or your username is gonna be able to help you. People will be less inclined to say all the stupid rage baity shit that they actually do say. What's good, Jen? People will be less inclined to talk all the hella dog shit that they do. Because you know why? I'm surprised. I am thoroughly surprised that you'll find so many people online, especially the chat, you hidden motherfuckers. Could you imagine this? If everybody in the chat also had to be on camera? Imagine that. It's not just avatars now. You had to be on camera. Maybe it's a small cam, but now everybody in the chat had to be on camera. You can keep all your names, but imagine that. That was the prerequisite for being a participant in anywhere you go. You had to be on camera. And there would be like an automatic filtering system that the moment you try to take yourself off the camera, or you try to do a freeze frame, or you try to throw a sock in the front of the camera, you get kicked out the room. Any room. That was a prerequisite. Ooh, how great that would be. And all the things that, by the way, and all the things that we use AI for, we can't use AI for that. We can't use AI for that. Crazy. All the things that we use AI for scrubbing data and management and modding accounts, and but we can't find AI a way to make it more interactive, engaging, and less toxic for users. Interesting. Highly interesting. You just got to be on cam. You would think about it this way. People wouldn't even you wouldn't even need channels like the panel channels to say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you be on camera? It would be a fucking prerequisite. You cannot get on camera. Your mic would immediately shut off if you could not show your camera. Because that's the point that's really important. People want to be heard, but they don't want to be seen. So imagine this. Imagine if your camera was linked to your microphone. You're not on camera, your microphone goes dark. How interesting would that be? You want to talk? Cam up. Because I guarantee you, when you do your Zoom calls for for psychiatry or therapy, or you look at the Zoom meetings for for courthouses, they don't say you can be off camera. You have to be on camera. Oh, my camera doesn't work. Well, we got a problem now. They're not going to let you talk without being on camera. If they can use that for the court systems, right? Why can't we use that on social media? I'm all for it. Now, I'm not saying your government need to be out there, but that should be, oh, what's good, KM? KM in here with the $9.99. She's always keeping that penny for us. She's such a Scrooge. She's always keeping that penny. All right, fine. I don't know, why you sure she's not Jewish? Anyway, thanks for being here, KM. Literally penny pinching. But I think literally, like that it should force everybody, whether you were in a chat or whether you were on a panel or whatever, to be visible. Imagine what that would, just take a moment to think about it for yourself. Let your imagination go wild. How that would change the landscape of how people interact with one another online. No longer being the fat girl who goes into skinny girl spaces to try to talk shit about them, or vice versa, because now you're seen. Hey, we got a room over here talking about people who are anorexic, and you got this woman that walks in there and starts talking shit about it, and no one can see their faces. So imagine this. She walks in there and everybody says, get out of here, big back. Get the fuck out of here. This is for anorexic people. Get the fuck out of here. Immediate kick out. Because you can't hide. Can't hide. Well, I just wanted to get my perspective. Here's your perspective. Get thinner. Then you can get in here. This is for us anorexic people. I just wanted some tips. Go to the doctor. This chat room is for us. You see everybody here up and down on this damn screen? It's all for thin people. You see everybody's camera on? They're all for thin people. When you go, check this out. When you go to get I had a certification that I had to go get, right? When you It literally has to go shipped out to Albany. So for instance, so to take the certification, everybody's on Zoom, right? Everyone has to be on camera because why? It literally goes to the Department of State. They say if your we understand you can't sit there the entire 8 hours, folks. So if you have to step away real quick, we're gonna let you know. If you are gone longer than 10 minutes, you will be booted and you will have to do it all over again. There were people who were getting warned. If they can do that, why is it we can't have the prerequisite for that? Instead of having people that come up here and try to be as flagrant as possible. Because now, keep in mind, folks, imagine just KM, you didn't have to hear these words anymore. You talking all that shit? Cam up. You didn't have to worry about that no more. Nobody could escape. You gonna be up there or not? You can't even say, well, I would hit the link, but my camera not working. No. If you're in the chat, your camera works. Your camera works because we can see you in the chat. I can see you moving in the chat. I can see you got no pants on in the chat. It would force people to either be more honest being online or not to get online at all. And if they're not getting online at all, guess what? You can't even watch someone. You may be able to scroll and see who's there, but you can't click into that room because the first thing it's going to do is going to black out the screen and it's going to say must have your camera if you're going to be in the room. Must. And then give you the little prerequisites bottom. Must be a camera. 10 minutes of inactivity on the camera, you're booted. You're booted from the room. And I don't mean like 10 minutes you're gone, then you do this, then you dip off the camera. It must be a combined total of how many times you've been missing on camera, equaling 10 minutes, and you're fucking booted. I might be a little bit more graceful, maybe 15 minutes. In fact, leave it up to the host. Like the same way the host can pick whether this is a members only stream or how slow the chat moves or how fast the chat moves. How about that? 15 minutes inactivity in total. The AI is watching. You've been off the screen for too much. So here's the thing though, KM, Jen. Here's the thing for you ladies. When you say, I'm here, wrestler, I'm just listening, guess what? You ain't on that camera, you gone. I was just making ice. I'm here. I'm here, I'm listening. No. You gotta be on camera. You gotta be participating. If you making ice, I want to see you pouring ice in them damn ice trays. Pour water in them ice trays. Make them popsicles. We need to see it. Don't you go long. Don't you go missing long. You get booted. No, I got booted. I'm trying to get back in the room. And you just get the alert. You have been removed from room for inactivity. That's the way it happened. And then you wouldn't have the people's algorithms. You wouldn't have the algorithm practically trying to pressure people for engagement and for watch time because you would absolutely know who's watching and who's not. In fact, here's what you need to do. If you guys got boyfriends, girlfriends, or kids, when you gotta go really gotta go take a shit. You gotta sit your little one in front of the damn. Don't you leave. Don't you leave. Stay right here. in front of this damn camera, okay? All right? Daddy loves you. And then you got to leave the kid in front of so you can go take your shit or do I answer the door or go yell at the neighbors next door or whatever. And you got to leave. Don't leave from this chair. I ain't trying to get kicked out of the room. Stay here in this chair. Hey, you want ice cream tonight? Stay right here in this chair. Don't leave the chair. If you leave the chair, no ice cream. You gotta bribe your kids. Tell you what. If you stay here for 10 minutes, I'm gonna put this timer right here. If you stay right here for 10 minutes, we can order SummerSlam or you can watch WrestleMania. We can watch WrestleMania. I'll order WrestleMania. We can watch WrestleMania, but you gotta stay here in this chair for 10 minutes. Don't move. If you move, there's no WrestleMania. Because you don't know how long the stream is going to be. And once you know you get booty, you can't come back. You are locked out of that stream. You cannot go back until the next stream. How many of you guys are going to do that? See, it's different if you're on. If you're on camera and you're like, man, fuck this room. When you leave, you can come back. You can come back. But you can't be missing on camera for like 15 minutes. That means, damn, I want to listen to this, but I can't be here right now. You know what you got to do? Leave the room. Gotta leave the room. Leave the room and come back. Maybe people in the chat are willing to tell you what you missed when you come back. I know this seems kind of harsh, but imagine the real numbers reflected for communities, for engagement, all of that. Imagine that. Imagine how authentic people's communities would actually be. I'm spitballing, but I'm trying to imagine that. Oh, and then you can see your lurkers. May not be talking, but we can literally see you. Then what? And it'll be fair. Like maybe you give a little timer on the screen, like how long you've been inactive. I don't know. In your window. But it wouldn't have all these crazy, bloated, inflated communities. Yeah, I want to see the bushwatchers. I want to see them. I want to see the hate watchers too. I want to see all of them. So when they're in the chat and someone else's shit or whatever, and they're talking dog shit, I could be like, hey yo, you so and so, fuck you. I saw you last time. And you're like, I don't even watch you, stream. I don't even watch your stream, Wrestler. You're a liar. I wasn't there. Really? Scroll. Okay, this ain't you. This ain't you. Yeah, yeah. I see you. Yeah, it's on stream. I got the link. I'm gonna send the link to them. You were right there. You was watching. You wasn't talking, but you was watching. We all saw you. Smile, bitch. You on candid camera. We saw you. I was just watching. Cool. But you can't say you wasn't there. You was there. We all saw you. If you're gonna be a person who hates watch, you should be there. It should be like wrestling. You got the heel, or you got the two guys fighting in the ring, and if you the heel, you know this person's coming up. You gotta fight him at SummerSlam or whatever. Show up in the crowd. Show up in the crowd. Just sit like this. You can boo if you want to, but I should fucking see you. I need to see you hate. Which means, guess what? You can't hide from your sock accounts either. There's no getting alternate accounts because you can get an alternate name, but when you show up, guess what? You on camera. Oh, your other account got blocked, so you came in on this one? We still see you, though. We see you. You can't hide under a new name. You're on camera. And it would make the mods it would make the mods job easy too. Because if you got to kick out one account and the motherfucker come back another account, it's easy for you to do your job. Because why? They can't hide. They gotta be on camera, even in the chat. That's the way I look at it. You just gotta be you gotta be active on camera. Need to see you on camera. And to me, that's worth something. That to me, that is worth a lot. Now, I guess we gotta ask the question like, what will we lose? What will we lose in return? Because honestly, now I gotta look at what's the quote downside. What? You don't want to be on camera because you don't think you pretty enough? But why you can't be on camera? What? You got bad acne? What is it? Why you can't be on camera? Huh? Got a dick in your mouth? Why is it you can't be on camera? Because you could just exercise that X button. What would make being anonymous the way it's already been better than my camera system? Mm. By the way, you guys are reminding me because I saw this on whose stream. I can't remember whose stream it was. I can't remember whose stream it was. It wasn't recent. It was something last week. Where essentially I didn't see anyone. Well, there were probably a couple of people really paying attention to what the conversation. Actually, it was nobody in this space. Nobody was really paying attention to the conversation. I know whose channel it was now. And honestly, I was sitting there going, "What are you guys doing?" I think a person was talking about. I think these people were talking about something in reference to um, black relationships, and the people in the chat, at least three of them were talking. You know what they were talking about? Cocoa Puffs. They were talking about Cocoa Puffs. These people should be seen. What are you doing? Why are you talking about cake? Oh, by the way, I think it's something that's also really important as well, because we're talking about sobriety and people in their addictions, right? Part of the addictions as well, because I saw it a whole lot in this chat in the stream for the chat today. A lot of people came in, and this is why we say about this for the lurkers as well. A lot of people came in and left, in and left, in and left, in and left, in and left. See, normally it's funny. Oh, think about this, folks. This is something very important. Think about this for a moment. Quick moment. When the store first opens, how often do you feel Like being the first person in the store. Typically, yeah. Let me be the first motherfucker in the store. I can get my hands on everything I need. Nobody's in my way. All that stuff. Great to be the first person in there. First in, first out. Nobody on the line. I can get all my questions addressed. All that stuff. Now, change that around. How come you don't want to be the first person in on a live stream? I see people that walk in and they say, if there's no one else in here yet, even if I'm the first mofo in it, let's just say even if it's a big creator, if I'm the first person in here, I ain't gonna stick around. That's an addiction, by the way. The addiction of majority rule. If you don't see other people, you don't want to be the first. That's an addiction. Doesn't matter how great the host could be, doesn't matter how many subscribers that they have, anything. If they don't see people in the chat already, they don't stick around. Also, not understanding this, how could other people want to be in the chat if you don't stay in the chat? Think about this for a moment. I'm not going to stick around because I don't see anyone yet. The next person come in. I'm not going to stick around because I don't see anyone yet. The next person come in. I'm not going to stick around because I don't see anyone yet. Then you'll never see anyone. But the one person that says, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to figure out what's going on. And then somebody else is here. Somebody else coming. Oh, somebody else is here. Somebody else. Somebody. And then you start getting a gathering. There's an addiction to not wanting to be in a room unless other people are already there. And I see it all the time. I notice it a lot, whether it's my stream or whether it's Uncle Tom's, a place that I see a lot. I see it a lot. I see it a lot of different places. People don't want to. They already want to see people there. They want to this point. Think about it, because this is very important, folks. To the point where creators, because this is how the system, this is how it happened. This is how it all got started. I could see it through behavior. To the point where creators now create 30 to 15-minute pre-show intros for what? For people to sit there and be engaged to pull people in. They gotta treat it like it's a fucking like it's trailers to a movie. Because why? If I can get people to watch the pre-show intros and sit down, other people come in and say, oh, look, there is somebody still here. Oh, look, there is somebody still here. Oh, look, there is somebody still in here. Oh, look, there's somebody else in here. They treat it like trailers to a movie. You're here for the movie. You're not really there for the trailers. But the trailers will get people in early. Does that make sense? There are people who are addicts. There are people who are addicts to other people. They're addicts to crowds. There are plenty of people, when they see crowds, you know what they do? They avoid them. And then there are people who are so socially there, socially attuned to wanting to be, if you even want to say nosy, that when they see a crowd, instead of saying, that looks unhealthy, that could break out into something serious, that looks like a mob, is what they do? I wonder what's going on over there. Let me go find out. It could be a whole bunch of anger or protest. I wonder what they're protesting about. I'm gonna go find out. Who's gonna go what? Ruthless is in here. What's good, Ruthless? Ask him, wanna go what? Who's gonna go what? Anything can be an addiction. Absolutely. Well, it's not always well, you said desire drives addiction. Sometimes it's not always desires. Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna change that. You got a point. Because there is a desire to avoid things. So the desire of avoidance is something that will lead to addiction as well. So you got a point there. You say you do enjoy chatting with some people, but there are some people, there are a lot of people. Let me put it, I was about to say some. There are a lot of people, that's all they do. They don't go there for whatever's going on. They only go there for a chat. And I'm like, so you don't go anywhere for anything else. You just go there for a chat room. I'm like, so why don't you just go to like, I mean, honestly, these are the places where I say faceless networks for communication should be available. Why don't you go to Clubhouse? You're not required to be on camera in Clubhouse. Why not go to Clubhouse? It's a place where you can have conversations. You don't have to be on camera, all that stuff. Why not go to Clubhouse? You're obviously not there for the subject, for the hosts, for whatever. You're there for other people mass scrolling that you can't read everything either. It's hard for the host. I know it's hard for you. We've all been someone in the chat. 100 something people flying by, going crazy. So how are you saying that you're there for the chat? But you go there because you want to know what everybody's talking about. And then when you go there, let's just say everybody or the majority of people is talking about what the actual topic's about. If you don't care for the topic, are you likely to talk about it? No, you're likely to be the person to distract everyone else. And you guys here in the chat know that I've seen it and I've called it out in real time. I've called it out in real time while it's happening. I'm like, oh, okay. So this person was sitting here, they were talking, they were engaging, they had a conversation about this, they were doing this, that, and then someone showed up and it derailed everything. They were talking about snowflakes and plastic dildos, and everybody just became, oh, I want to talk about that. And no one, here's another thing that I call out. It's good, no chaser. Here's another thing I call out. No one, even mods, go, hey, that's not what we're talking about. They go, I got a plastic dolphin dildo. That sounds cool. Yours is a rabbit. Mine's is a turtle. Mine's is a pig. Oink, oink. And as the host, we're going, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on in this goddamn chat? Because there are people that are not there that really don't respect platforms. They're there for a chat room. No, I haven't been trolled because typically I'm the one still on content. I'm the one still on the subject. I haven't been trolled. The chat has been trolled. It goes to show you how quickly distractions can take everybody out the loop. How quickly a leaf blowing could distract everybody from something that everybody else was engaged in. Yeah. Yeah, you've been trolled. Absolutely. It's amazing to me when I see it. I could literally have a stream about distractions and watch a distraction happen in the chat in real time because I've already done it. I even called out the person it was happening to. That was blind. And who was the person that came in and distracted the entire chat? It was Rockefeller. And I said, you literally just fell for it. We're literally talking about distractions, and you literally just fell for it. You were sitting here talking, engaging. You were talking about, yeah, could distractions happen like this, and distractions happen like that. And Rockefeller came in and said, Hey, who's gonna talk about Gatsby? And this nigga lost his shit. Gatsby? Well, what about? I said, let's see where this is going. I said, let's see where this is going. And those motherfuckers talk for like a solid. I'm going, and I watched them for 10 minutes in the chat. And I'm going, this is crazy. This is crazy. Hey yo, blind. He got you. You immediately got taken. If your life depended on it, you just got taken. Well, it goes to show you how quickly anyone can come in, and because minds are so easily distracted. And think about it. If it happens in the chat room, think about how much little distractions can sway you off of other things. When you're at work, whether you're at school, whether you're in the grocery aisle, just how quickly distractions can take you. Because the way how beings are, and the way how social media is, you're trained for immediate switch ups. This is why scrolling is just so detrimental. If they don't do a hook to catch you in that first 3 seconds, you're gone. But all it takes is 3 seconds to distract you. That's all it takes. This is why so many people and so many chats and so many bots that they put in chats turn around and say, hey, do not speak in all caps. Why? One, it does sound like a scream. That's what it represents. But also, it's a distraction. It's a distraction not only to the chat, it's a distraction also to the host. That's why you don't do it. It's disrespectful. That's the general purpose. I hate to tell you this, KM. Practically everybody has ADHD. Just like everybody's on the fucking spectrum. And if you're not on the spectrum, you got spectrum cable. Everybody's got something. You can't hide from that though. If everybody's saying I got ADHD and everybody say I'm on the spectrum, and especially if you hear somebody say everybody gay, then guess what? Everybody also breathes. Everybody also eats. Everybody also takes a shit. So that means it's still up to you at the end of the day. It's still up to you. You got to take responsibility for that shit. Because it's so funny if somebody can walk up here, if somebody can easily just walk into the chat. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Oh, hey, how's it going? Nothing. I was playing with my freaking, my dolphin dildo. Oh, really? How was that like? Not, hey, whoa, can we? Hey, where was that? Aren't you a guy? I am. But I still like my dolphin dildo. I put it in all kind of places. And instead of everybody be like, yo, we don't really want to get into that. Nope. Cam's gonna be like, how long did the dildo last? Was it a good dildo? How long was the dildo? I'm in the market for a dildo. But and then everybody's like, you know what? Yeah, Cam would be interested in the dildo. Hey, no chase. They'll be like, yo, shit, that's crazy. A dildo, yo, y'all wilding up in here. Gatsby want to know if it was plastic or if it was silicone. Like, you easily get distracted. Easily distracted. And this is also a thing about how your neurons are just firing off in all kind of fucking ways. But also the person who comes up here, they get their fix. They're addicts for attention. And the sad part about it, it's so easy to get attention. It's so easy to get attention, but it's hard to let it go. Sure you wouldn't, KM. You wouldn't. Sure you wouldn't. You would ask if it vibrates or does it wiggle. You would. When it wiggles, does it do this or is it in the dolphin motion and it does this? Which one does it do? Asking for a friend. And then and the sad part about it, somebody like me will be like, do y'all even know what the fuck I was talking about? And they'll be like, no, no. Could you tell me again? I'm not repeating myself. Now, if that person just flew into the room, started talking all this shit, and I turned around and I just boot them, somebody's gonna be like, Resla, why did you boot them? I really wanted to know. Now, I'm the bad guy for booting the person out, talking about dolphin dildos all in their ass, doing all kind of weird shit. Now, I'm the bad guy for that. I'm the bad guy from stopping somebody from coming in to disrupt everybody else because they have an addiction. And the sad part about this, folks, bots are being engineered to do this. You guys are getting trolled by bots, not even real people. Bots are being put up to the point where they can come into a room and be the trolls for the room. And you guys be falling for it. I saw that shit happen on TikTok. Not TikTok, on Twitch. I saw it happen on Twitch. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And they were falling for it. I'm like, and the mods in the chat, they're like, hey, everybody, that's a bot. That's a bot. They kicked them out. The people are still trying to respond to the bot. That's the bot. That's a bot. Hey, stop. Back to the topic. That's a bot. That's a bot. Bots are being engineered to do this. It's crazy. Better watch out, KM. Hey, we gonna see the next thing that come out. We gonna see the next thing that's being said. What's good, Stackbot? And this is the problem with the idea of people being stuck on so many things when it comes to addiction. Because like I said, addictions come in so many forms and facets. And a lot of people are just using it to mask other things, whether they're masking their loneliness, whether they're masking substance abuse, whether they're masking whatever traumas that they got going on. For instance, it's a thing that I'm going through, the thing I've been going through, but I'm really trying to deep dive into it more because I'm having a conversation with somebody over the week about it because he and I have two totally different experiences about some of the things that go on it. And we're talking about traumatic intelligence because he says he's a person that comes up through a lot of trauma in his life, but he's managed to garner a bit of intelligence from it over the years. And I'm the same way. A lot of my intelligence comes from observations. And he feels like he's the same way. But when it comes to the whole idea of emotion and empathy, we don't see eye to eye. We do not see eye to eye on it. And it's going to be a very decent conversation that he and I are about to have. No, it's nobody online. I could never have that conversation with blind. You can't have a conversation with somebody who not willing to have a conversation. And I say that for the point of how the addiction would eventually be the need to win. That's an addiction. So I can have conversations with people that just totally open-ended, given our experiences, why we may disagree on a couple of things, and it's just that. There's no need to argue and there's no need to convince. I've had conversation with this person. This person's a real life person. There's no one, because my thing, what's the point? And I say this, right? I say this as a person who's online, right? But I say this as a person who's online who's been saying this for years. What's the point in a cheap victory? You can't monetize it. Oh, you were right one time for a stream. How can you monetize it? How's it helping you? Whose lives did you change? How did it change your life? I say this all the time to you guys. You get so caught up on trash, on fast food. And then when you leave and you think about all the time that you spent, you got nothing back. It's the equivalent. It's worse than going to a strip club. At least you saw some titties. At least you got your shit rubbed on. At least. Instead, this is the equivalent of you walking in the strip club. You see the flashing lights. There's no food. There's no hose on the pole. And you still lost your money walking in from the door. It did nothing for nobody. Nobody. The only person who got fucked was you literally at the door. So why would I bother? Because eventually things change. Because if you can't hear something, because by the way, that's an addiction, by the way, Gatsby. If you can't hear something that you don't like and not feel the need to change the room, you got a problem. I can say the things that I disagree with. I don't need to change your mind. I don't even need to say that my points are better. I just simply don't agree. And there are people that they don't reach that part of conversations. Now you can say blind. I've seen this in plenty of people online. I've seen it watching these quote debates or conversations happen in these different spaces. The idea of just having opposite opinions is not enough. Someone has to be right. And it goes nowhere at the end of the day. Again, you can't monetize it. No one else is going to be sitting there rewatching this shit, getting views and shit off of it. But I'm like, no, it's not. You're not going to wind up on Pierce fucking Morgan. So what's the point? You're not creating a book, reading a book or writing a book so people can read, because Gatsby, check this out. KM, Stackby, all you guys. Unless you plan on doing this, right? And what? Someone's probably gonna coin this idea. KM, get ready to write this down. Unless you plan on trying to be a master debater and not a masturbator, and say, I'm gonna debate everybody and cook everybody in every fucking space that I go, and I'm gonna write a book, and it's gonna be called How I Own the Online Debate Space. Outside of that, if you can't prove that and make that stick and make that be the case, and you say, I'm everybody I defeated, you can go watch. There's timestamps all on my page, all the victories that I have every time I put somebody in their place, and I'm writing a book showing my strategies on how I defeated them all. What was I thinking about in the moment? I was doing it like I was Michael Jordan. KM said, I don't think I really agree. And I was thinking in my mind, she said, my mother's a hoe. And I just carried it to my grave and I said, she's gonna die for saying my mother was a hoe. But at the end of it, did she really say about? No, she never said my mother was a hoe. I just needed the energy to defeat her, to grind her to dust, to have her be like shit underneath my shoe. Unless you're gonna be putting together some fucking big fucking win fucking Brett Cardone fucking book like that. Well, what's the point of these cheap little fucking arguments, huh? Well, what's these cheap little fucking arguments? What are you solving? Who's it helping? Who in the chat cares the next stream? Who? Who's gonna look back? Hey, you remember that one? Remember that one time? Well, watch it. You remember that one time, Gatsby? That one time? 8 seasons ago, where I had that conversation and I won that one time against Wrestler. No one's gonna care. Nobody will give two fucks. You remember that one time we had that conversation about snow crabs? No one gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Your chat doesn't care. My chat doesn't care. No one's leaving highlighted conversations or comments that are still getting plugged today. It's not going to be featured on Pierce Morgan. It's not going to be on Trigonometry. It's not going to go in the best debates of all time. None of it. It's fleeting. It's not even important. And this is why I talk about being effective rather than being right. And I have conversations with people, by the way, in real life, that the conversations are aimed just at that. Being effective rather than being right. Because a person they're going to give their experience. I'm probably not going to agree, but they're probably going to highlight some points that I didn't think about, which might sway my opinion because maybe there were some aspects of things that I did experience this. And there's going to be things that I say and they're going to be like, I don't really agree with that. And then I'm going to mention some things and they're going to go, there's been some points where I've been that way as well. And then we're going to walk away and we're going to be like, there were things I didn't really think about, but I respect his opinion because I can understand how he went that way. And I'm going to do the same thing. And you know what it's not going to be? A win. I owned them. There's a W. I fucked them. There's not going to be that. This is the point of coming to understanding. Because there's nothing to gain from it at the end of the day. Because the only people that care that much about it is just literally going to be you. Can't take it with you. Can't live with it. Can't kill it. Can't take it to the grave. And no one's going to remember. Just like there's so many people that think that they're debaters and they're not debaters. They don't understand the difference between an argument and a debate. They think that every argument is a debate. They've never actually been in an actual debate. Because they don't try to come to a point of understanding. They come to try to win. You try to win arguments. You don't need to try to win a debate. You need to understand the person's point and make a stronger case for your point than theirs. But you don't need to win it. You just need to for them to see the flaws in their own arguments. You need for them to see the flaws in their disagreements and say, so how does that match up to, so is what I said wrong? Okay, well, can you explain your point? Yeah, but the thing that I say, is it true or not? If it is true, we need to put a pin in that. That's true. We need to put it to the side. But now, what are the points that you think are not true about it? Oh, they're not true about it. So everything I just put in that is true. Okay. So what else do you have a problem with? Because we already conceded that this thing is true. Now, the thing that you're talking about, Here's why I don't think that your thing is true. And it's your position to hold that up, not shift, not move the conversation, not bring in other shit, not say, look at the goldfish over here. Isn't this a nice goldfish? None of that bullshit. Not ask a whole bunch of questions, not be long winded. And then because I see a lot of you motherfuckers do this as well. You think you're about to make a point, you think you're about to say something because you start a sentence off, and then you start saying a whole bunch of bullshit. And then somewhere in the middle of your conversation, you realize, oh shit, I don't even know what I'm talking about. And then you try to find a way to spin your ass back around the block to talk about that thing. And everybody's going,
wait, what?
What the fuck was that about? Was that at this point, was that a yes or no? What the fuck was that? Because, let's be honest with you, instead of having an actual point, you guys love the sound of your own voice. You're not really there to make a point. You're there to hear yourself talk. And keep in mind, there are plenty of people that just love to hear the sound of their own voice. They can talk and talk and talk. They love the sound of their own voice. When they're not making no point, they're like, I don't care. It's about me. All eyes are on me. It be like that. And there are people who just don't know how to get out of it because of addiction. And because of the aspect of the internet and how everybody sees what they think debate is, they want to be a part of that. Not because it's actually a debate. They just want to feel like they're a part of something bigger. Not because it actually is what it is. Not because it's actually important. They just don't want to feel left out. It's like high school. It's a lot like high school. They just want to be a part of the club. I want to be a part of that too, even if I got to get hazed and treated badly. How do I become a part of that squad? How do I become a part of that fraternity? And I'm one of the people that just go, I don't want to be a part of the fraternity. I'm good. But you don't want to be Kappa backshot door banger? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. But you just got to do a little bit of hazing, talk about butt plugs and get jizzed on from time to time. I'm good. I'm good. You can hold all of that. I'm good. So you're just gonna sit there and be by yourself while everybody else is trying to be a part of the come splashing squad? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be over here by myself. I'm gonna watch you guys get all your verbal bukakis, because it's mainly guys in the space loving to do this, and I'm just gonna watch you all. But me, I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. And I won the debate, wrestler. Here you are. I won the debate. You got cum on your eyes and shit. I won a debate, wrestler. I won a debate, wrestler. I beat him. I'm like, right. Good for you. How proud you must feel of yourself. You sat there on a whole panel with 9 other ninjas looking like the fucking Brady Bunch shit. Doo, 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 doo. Or everybody doing this on the screen. Here's a story. Just all over to see who's gonna be the one that take them all. This is how they all became the Bader Bunch. Debater bunch. Debater bunch. that mask before debaters, because that's all I see out here. The mask debaters. You're in masses too. I rarely see women around. All I see is nothing but sausages. And in these spaces, women don't really have a right to say anything, do they? There's nothing for me to get on. I've been saying this. Here's the sad part about it. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this for years. You can't even say get it all out. I've been on point. I've been consistent for years. Can't say shit about me. I've been on this journey for years. Consistent like a motherfucker. Gatsby, why are you yelling? Why the need for caps? Hmm? Hmm? Why the need? Are you desperately trying to get my attention? Why the need for caps, dude? I can read. And my peoples, let your peoples go. Hmm? Am I holding you guys in captivity? Let your people go. I listen, I hear you, Dom. A lot of people don't get it. Mm-hmm. 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 I You can tell yourself that all you want. You can tell yourself this all you want. You forget everybody in this space has seen what you've seen. I don't know who you think you're lying to. If it makes you feel better about yourself, you can say that. But I don't know what soul in here, not nan one person in here believes what the fuck you just said. Not one. Not one soul believes what you just said. I feel like it's a Chris Rock skit. But no matter what you think of what I'm saying, no one believes you about the masturbators. No, not anyone has the right, not anyone has the chance to say a point. Everyone has the right to criticize somebody else over points that most likely no one else was even making. That's more like it. No, I haven't watched ratchet debaters. I've watched arguments. I haven't watched debates. Not even like I've just watched wild and reckless and ratchet arguments. I haven't watched actual debates. And bless Sarah, she tries. I think in the early portion we was getting there, but for the most part, it's not really structured around that. And again, it's not because of the platform. It's because of the people's mentality. They can't control themselves. It's like it's like you bring two it's like you bring two crackheads in the room and then you tell them the person at the end who wins is gonna get the rock. They're gonna be scratching and everything. They're not gonna be logical because they're gonna be willing to say anything they can to get the fucking rock. This is what it's like. The W is The Rock. The moment you told somebody that the conversation wasn't really the part of it, but it was about the win, the rock, the crackstone, it's over. Because the whole point is not understanding. The point is not understanding. Because here's the truth of the matter. The person who's supposed to be able to understand, or rather, who's supposed to make the determination of who won, is not you. It's the audience. But if you are focused on winning, you already lost. You're supposed to make the most solid case you have. It's the audience that walks away thinking about who won or lost, not you. How do I think about how Wilson, he's how multifaceted is he, or does he talk about the same thing? And how do I think about the way is he the standard of debaters? Is he the standard? I think he has a particular strategy. I think the strategy is something that you can easily see. However, a lot of people, due to the kind of space, because a lot of people are not actual debaters, they're arguers. Therefore, no, I'm gonna answer your question, Cam. Because they're arguers, a lot of them are not very temperamental, which, and also because of the strategy that Wilson employs, he doesn't actually have to be in this debate. He's allowed to agitate, to over talk, which means people never get their point actually through, even though a lot of these people are not really good at making solid points in the beginning. But, and because he can rile them up to get them off there, which is a strategy, it's a decent strategy, but it's not a strategy that's actually made in an actual debate. I actually think I've seen the strategy before. I think he implements it pretty well. I think he's really, really tried. And he's implemented something that's really well. It's actually unfair, to be honest with you. It's unfair because he's actually testing a model that he doesn't have to walk away from, because there are so many people who actually are not actual debaters. They think because they argue with some mofos at work around the lunch truck that they can debate everybody. And they can't debate anyone because all they did was argue their way through something. They argued their way through submission. Because a lot of people who I see who have these debates, a lot of them don't move on the actual evidence, on the actual facts, on the actual. Most of them come with very small points, like bullet points of things that they get, and then the rest of it becomes regurgitation, number one, and then their feelings come into play. Because if you know all the facts, you don't need to get hostile. Let me say that again. If you know the facts, you don't need to get hostile. You just run on the facts. You let the facts speak for itself. If they say, well, that's not true, guess what? Like a lawyer, present the facts. Not your feelings, not your snippets, not what everybody else agrees on, not your anecdotal experience. Just provide the facts. Especially if you walk into a debate where you already know what the subject's about to be, there's no reason why you should be unprepared. There's no reason why, if you're having a conversation about, say, trafficking, that you're now talking about someone's girlfriend. That you're talking about, well, I was on your platform last time and you was talking about Vaseline and ass cracks. Like, these are the things that should not be popping up. We shouldn't be talking about, well, you were sitting here last time. We were talking about hot, sweaty t-shirts. This is not what should be popping up. These things are distractions. And a lot of the chat fall for it. And a person like me is shaking my head because I was doing this. Okay. All right. What? What? Okay, never mind. Nope, it's out the window now. Nope. They were making points now. Now I can't trust anything that they say. They both sound like fucking fools now. It's over. Whatever points and credibility was about to get just went the fuck out the window. Because now you sound like a goddamn fool. I didn't. And you can keep that assessment for yourself. That's cool. That's cool. I'm asking me a question. I gave my assessment. You can say, "Oh, I rate him." I don't care about the rating. I didn't care. Yes, there's some of the things he's bullshit. Yes. Are some of the things he's saying true? Yes. There's some of the points that can. The point is, it's not whether it's bullshit or not. By the way, Gatsby, because if it's bullshit, it's up for the opposition to call it out as bullshit, right? So it doesn't matter if it's bullshit. If the opposition can't call it out, he's gonna win. If I say, "Hey, not for nothing," if I say, "Hey, not for nothing," yo, when my girl's not at home, I reach underneath my bed, and you know that bitch that's from the ring? She lives underneath my bed. I just pull out from underneath the bed, and I just fuck her brains out every night. Prove me wrong. Yeah, Sadako every time. She got the wet dress on, and I just be pounding that wet pussy every night. Prove me wrong. At least a decent person's gonna be like, I mean, I never know what she looked like. I mean, but how did you pull her out to have that time? Don't you come on the TV? You have a TV underneath your bed? These are at least decent questions to ask. Don't That means you have a TV underneath your bed. And that means your floor gets wet. Like, right? But that's not what people do. You know what they're gonna do instead, KM? They're gonna do this. Oh, you're an infidel. You're cheating on your girlfriend. Yeah, that's what you are. And you know what? And you said you dragged her out from under the bed. You fucked her against her will. And you said you do it multiple times during the week. We don't even know how old she is. You're a pedophile. This is where those arguments go. No good challenges, no nothing. It's just gonna be everywhere now. They're all in their field. How dare you? She's soaking wet. You should have offered her a towel. Instead, you just lifted up her soggy wet dress and you went to Pound Town. You see? You can't trust people like this, and he swear that he's a good guy. These are your champions. These are your champions. Round of applause. These are your champions. These are your heroes. And then you wonder why I don't want to engage. Why? No one has given me no one has provided me an optimal reason why. Because somebody tried to say, because it would make good content and people would go to your channel. And then they would expect that dog and pony shit over here. And then they would be sorely upset because it wouldn't be what they thought it was going to be. And by the way, because you guys have seen it, I've done a stream about that. People think who you are is where they met you. So if you're a part of that shit show, that means when I go to your space, I'm expecting a shit show. Hell, it was in the beginning, KM, before I started ever doing this whole shit where I can show literally in real time that I got no problem running streams by myself and everything. How many people would turn around and say, yeah, wrestler, you doing, your monologue, yeah, get to it, start the panel. I'm horny. How many times? He talking so long. I like his voice, but I'm so horny. I just need to see more me on the panel. I mean, where's the meats? And I'm like, wrong. I felt like I felt like we should have been tipping people at the door. We should have turned it into a strip club. All the guys that be coming up, hey, everybody, hey, let's give a warm round of applause. Claps in the chat, clap emojis in the chat. Let's give a warm welcome, applaud to Gatsby coming to the stage. Gotta throw on the music. You got Gatsby coming to the stage. Gatsby wearing his great night attire. He's shaking that thing all up on the panel verse, all up on the panel. He is doing this thing. He is killing the gang. He is, you know what? Wait, Gatsby, hey, take off that shirt, sir. Presenting Gatsby coming to the stage. We got Brick coming to the stage, shaking that thing. Go ahead, Brick. Ladies, this is for you. This is for y'all guys. Look at him dropping all of the panel verse knowledge all over the place. Oh my god! Oh my god! Look at this! Look at this! Who else is in here right now? Flo coming to the stage. Look at him. Ladies, Jen, do your favorite. If you want to support your favorite creators up here, drop a little something. Drop a little something in that super chat to show how much you like to see all of the meats, folks. All of the meats. Come on. Like, I should have been charging like a fucking strip club. I should have been doing that. But I was like, nah, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want that. I don't want that shit. I could have listen, you guys know me. I could move everything. I could have moved all my lights. I could have done all that shit. I could have put everything together, have it up here like a fucking strip club. Just put up the lights. What we gonna do? Put all the lights on? I could have fucking lights revolving all around this bitch, different colors coming through, and say, look, they want you guys to debate. They want you guys to debate. They want you guys to debate. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a one-on-one slow jam. Like, the fuck out of here. Like, no, just no. Take that shit somewhere else. Jesus Christ. I'm good. Aw, come on, wrestler. Come on. I was so close. I was so close to nutting. I was so close. And then you stopped the stream. Yeah, wait, stop. Almost finished. That's what. Here, look, the moment I said it is the moment you said. Like, no. No. Especially because I'm like, people weren't even showing up on other people's chats. They were like, I never see these two together because they already done blocked each other. Instead of calling the show opinionated, I should have called her Wrestlers Magic City. Magic Meat City. That's what it should have been called. Magic Meat City. Yeah. Everybody throw a little something in the pot. If you manage to get $30 in the pot, you will see these two go one-on-one in an oily, sweaty debate. Magic Meat City. Yes, KM. Because it wasn't really ladies popping up. If anything, with the few ladies that did pop up, like Alexandria and who else did? Who else popped up on panels enough? Oh, Lindsay. Just have them be the fucking ring girls, I guess. Because Lord knows when the ladies got up there, they can barely talk anyway. So have them be the fucking ring girls. They just have the ring cards. Uh, okay. I mean, so I don't know. Everybody, and by the way, as much as we're talking about addictions, can we just talk about that? How many people of these people you see moving around? And I'm not even just talking about the Panelverse people. Just everybody that you look at online. If they're not people who's actually like making productions, things like that, or having guests or whatever like that, you have to really look at everybody and wonder why they're doing it. Because some people do it for fame or hoping to be famous. Maybe they're hoping to get viral, whatever. Mm, I'm not even close to wanting to be near that shit because that brings a lot of unwanted attention. But and there's some people that just want to be the top dog in their park, to put it that way. And I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much going on there. It's not a pressure thing. It's just there's not enough people. Unless you plan on really moving out of your park, your pond, it's not enough people. You got to be able to do things. I said this before. In order to see interesting things, one themselves must become interesting. They must become interesting. To be somewhere you never been, you got to do things you never done. And let's be honest, a lot of people get very comfortable with what got them there, and they're not willing to go change things up. Well, a lot of people really get on. Not for nothing. A lot of people get on my ass about things. Oh, what are you gonna do with this? And you go to yo. I just say, do me a favor. Start your own fucking channel. Stop. Be the change you want to see. Stop telling me what to do. You go do it. I dare you. Do it. Don't tell me that. You go do it. I don't got the time. Guess what? Neither do I. Neither do I. Well, you already got, and you could do it too. In fact, there are plenty of people that make a shit ton of money. And you don't need a fucking production. You just you can get on your phone. Start talking from your phone. Well, no, then people are gonna see my face. Well, if that's an obstacle for you, channels that have people with their face make more money or get more attention or whatever, or push more in the algorithm. You could be a faceless channel. I would say become a VTuber, but that requires you to have money that you're not willing to go invest in. Believe me. I don't want to be some cartoon character. Well, what do you plan on doing? You don't want to be on camera. You don't want to become a VTuber. Here's what I got to say then. You're not going to be on YouTube, though. Start a podcast. Be on Spotify. You never have to worry about being seen on Spotify. You could do Spotify. Why not? Maybe you'll even have a little respect for what the people that actually do this kind of stuff do, what they endure. So, and that's why I tell you guys. I tell you guys things that I don't hear other people say. Like, honestly, you think if you think it's simple enough, or you think that you got something, go start it. See, I hear other people, they won't tell you that because they're like, why would I tell you to go start a channel? Because that means you're not going to be watching me. I'm like, I can't stop whether they come in or not. I Here's the thing, and I've said this before. I said this to so many different creators, by the way, especially when I used to go live a lot more. I used to go live a lot more, and we would be streaming all over each other, and they'd be like, "Yeah, but like there are people who I don't get as many people coming in on my streams because you're live," and I'm just like, "So fucking what?" No one can control where the chat goes. They choose who they want to see the most. That has nothing to do with anyone else. Because when I took my huge break last year, those same creators didn't come around and say, "Hey, Wrestler, I noticed I'm getting more people in my chat now. What happened, man?" They don't say nothing. Yo, can you go back to going live? So I feel a little weird that uh, I don't get as much of a rush from people. Like, you never hear that. You never hear that. They're like, "Thank goodness this nigga's not online, because I can get 3 more people watching me. 3." And I'm just like, it's not that serious. Like, it's not that serious. And I'm like, do you understand how long people typically go live before they really get a big audience? So why am I rushing? I'm gonna do my thing, refine it. This is gonna be like casting a barrel. This is gonna be like building my bourbon. I just love it when I just see a whole bunch of people try to tell me what I should be doing, and then when you show them, or you ask them to show the actual results that they have, they got dog water for you. I'm like, that's what I thought. I would take advice from a millionaire, but I'm not gonna take advice from someone who owns a hot dog cart. Not for nothing. I would sooner take relationship advice from a divorcee than take it from someone who's never had a relationship. Like, like what the fuck is that? Like, what needs to go on a shirt? Clip what? Like, I'm not doing this. So many people, and that's the thing. Another thing about it is that a lot of people who come into spaces, they want to get picked up real quick, and I'm like, honestly, learn how to swim first. Just learn how to swim. You'll be good. It's gonna take you some time. You gotta really get good at it. You can try copying, but if copying is only gonna get you but so far, because you gotta learn how to make that shit happen when things fall apart. Before I got started on the stream, something happened with OBS or whatever. They was doing some weird update, and I asked to do an update. My shit just started crashing on me. Cost me like 7 minutes, but we're up. We've been running 2 hours in. Later down. Same thing I say. Like people come in, people leave, but there are plenty of people that they just. And I'm like, it's gonna be cool. I just find it funny. I'm gonna find it. I'm going to find it funny. When someone's gonna be later down the line, they're gonna be like, yo, damn, Wrestler, you got this going on, you got that. You remember me? And I'm gonna be like, no, no, I don't. Because there's gonna be these people who come in and they mainly lurked or didn't really participate. And they're gonna be looking at the community like, oh, I remember when you yeah, I remember when you only had 300 subscribers. And I'm like, yeah, I remember. I remember when I stood basically a freaking year around 900. Things happen. I've never been in a rush. Who hasn't been late? I was late, even though everything was working properly. Even I was late. Is what it is. But these are what people deal with. I mean, oh, some people, is what it is. I think a lot of people are going to figure out that I love this whole thing about the whole streaming thing, right? Because a lot of people have their dependency in hoping that one day they will be able to make it big, or that people that they know who are adjacent to them are going to make it big and they're somehow going to be able to ride the wave. And I'm just going, good luck to you. Good luck. There are some people that think that if they do enough content, right? Enough content on people that they know, like people who cover like other content creators, that that is going to be the wave that rides them, because other people are going to look to say, oh my God, look how much content this person already has on so and so. And it's not going to work. Especially when you don't even know the reason why they're going to blow up. I think that a lot of people believe that, and a lot of people who actually have this stuff set up already are people that only believe, calling that out. I've been called that out. I'm going to continue to call that out. Are only going to believe that the only way you can get popular is through controversy. And I'm like, okay. It just tells me what your algorithm looks like. I see more people do complaining about other people and being a victim than actually just doing the things that they need to do. I say this all the time. Stop worrying about other people. Just focus on yourself. Nah, somebody else was. Focus on yourself. Making it to the NFL? Uh, I don't think so. I think that, well, even the NFL, you're gonna have some people that's gonna blow up real quick because they have a good network, or they come from a line of other people that's already been in the NFL. You could put it that way. For other people, there are people who don't make it, to the league because they're just not consistent. That's just really what it is. They're just not consistent. You gotta be willing to just do it, even though no one's. Here's my thing: if you're not doing it for you, if you're not doing it because you literally this is something that you want to do, not not even that you enjoy it, by the way, that this is something you want to do. You may not even love it right now, but let's be honest: a lot of things that you come over in time, you don't initially love. You come to love it. You grow to love it. But if you see the importance of something, the importance of doing something, even if you really don't like it at the time, but you see the importance, the value in it, you should do it. You should do it. And who knows, maybe over time you'll learn to love it. But I think a lot of people are looking for, it's like, it's like lottery tickets. They're hoping if they scratch enough tickets that they'll hit. And that's not the way it works. They should be working their asses off to try to become a millionaire rather than trying to get lucky at the winning the millionaire. And I think a lot of people treat concerts that way. That somehow some big creator is gonna notice their video and then respond to it, and they're gonna blow the fuck up. And I'm just like, that is highly unlikely to happen. And if it, let's just say if it did happen, I'm thinking you saved up a lot of money to Cash App or Zelle that person or whatever, because I'm sure who's ever in their network, when they ran across your video, probably in their feed, first thing they did was they look at your channel and they looked at your subs and they looked at your videos before they ever thought about responding to you to see what kind of traction you actually do have. And if you have virtually none, sorry. Like, it is what it is. Rather than, do the best work you have. I mean, I look at it this way. If I get popular in anything that I do, my idea is not to change my format. Don't change the format. Because you're gonna learn to hate it. Because it's not what you intended. How many people are willing to go do that? Not many. And I laugh when I'm thinking about some of those situations because I'm like, these are the areas where I didn't become addicted to the situation. Because some people are like, I got that hit. It felt good. I need another hit. And now they go chasing the high. And I'm just like, nah, I got that hit. It was nice, but like, it's really not my speed. I don't think it's like a discipline thing or anything like that, but I'm just like, I don't want to do something I'm gonna hate. That's my thing. I don't want to do something. I don't want to do something I know I'm gonna turn around and hate in the future. Or do something that will keep me stuck. That's another fear. Especially when it comes to doing content. To do something that will get you stuck. It's like putting down money, putting down on a house. I don't want to be stuck in the same place, putting in 30 years, putting in 15 years in the same spot. It's not. If you have the spirit, no chaser, to rage and to roam and to be a caravan and to be on so many different topics and ideas and talk to many different people, you can't do it. It's like this way. You can't expect to see and talk and have conversations and be around CEOs and travel and shit like that if the furthest you go is only on your block. You only go to the corner store, you only go down to the school down the block, and then you go home. Everybody you know is on that block. What's good, Kev? Everybody's in that block. Everything, the neighbor, the churches across the street, the supermarkets across the street. Like, you gotta be able to go beyond your block. I say this to some of my friends. I'm like, yo, you want a guy who's making this and he's doing well, but I'm like, where he gonna see you at? Not you hanging around the nail salon, not you hanging around the block. These guys that you're looking for, they're not around the block. You better take your ass to Midtown. You better go brunch down in Midtown. That's how you'll find them. Go to brunch. Go to events. Go by yourself to events, by the way. You'd be surprised who you run across. Go to events. Don't go to meetup singles shit. Don't do that. Just go to places that you actually want to go, and you'd be surprised when you go, well, I can't go by myself. And that, if you can't go by yourself, guess what? You're going to be single, or you're going to pick up the wrong kind of person, the person you don't want. Get somewhere you haven't been. You got to do something you haven't done. Sometimes, listen, I've had great conversations from doing things by myself, and you got to be willing to do that. I've gone out to bars by myself, met people, fire conversations. I remember when I used to go on vacation by myself. I don't go on vacation by myself anymore. But I remember when I think the most closest thing I went to a vacation by myself was last time was Vegas. But outside of that, every time I go to Vegas, it's me and another person. It's been a while since I've ever been on a vacation by myself where I just need to escape and just leave, be by myself. And the last time I did, it was awesome. There were couples who were looking at me like, so you're here with your wife, your girlfriend? I'm like, no, I'm single. Just doing the do. They're like, you're just traveling by yourself? I'm like, yep. They're like, guys are just like, yo, damn, I wish I could do that. Go to events by yourself. Go to the movies by yourself. Go to dinner by yourself. There are a lot of people that just they can't do it. I don't want to go to dinner by myself because it's gonna cost me a lot of money. When you're going out with people, it's gonna cost you more money. Keep it a buck. No, it's gonna feel awkward for me to buy outside. I'm just gonna order in. I'm like the thing that you can do every day. One day, just go out. Get, yes, get yourself nice and dressed up. Go to a place that you know you've been wanting to go to. Save up the money if you want to, so that you know you're about to blow it there. And have fun, actually. Put yourself in an area where people are going to be having conversations. A lot of people can't do that anymore. A lot of people are not conditioned to do that anymore. Let me put it that way. And as much as I've been talking about people and their different forms of addictions, I guess at some point I should really start talking about the way how people isolate themselves. That will be a conversation for sure. Because you're talking about someone who isolates himself from a lot of people. You know, so that would be very interesting. Outside of that, I just think it's something that we should be able to go into checking up on what our actual. When is this going to be? Okay. Checking up on your actual addictions. Are you the type of person that you only, for instance, for being online, are you the type of person that you can only go to a channel where everybody knows your name? Even if there's no good conversation going on, that's all you do. You just go to places where people know your name. Do you go there because you know you're gonna get decent conversation? Do you go there because it's your favorite place to get videos? Do you go there so you can freaking beat your meat? What is it? Something for you to ask yourself. What's your reason for going there? Because I doubt, and I could be wrong. I'm gonna put it out there though. I highly doubt that the majority of you go to channels because you feel loyal to them. I doubt it. You may like being there. You may even might like some of the people there, but I highly doubt the majority of you go to channels because you're loyal. You have to feel like you've gotten something from it. And that thing, whatever that thing is, could be, not for certain, but could be one of your addictions, especially to being online. I always hope that when I'm having these conversations with you guys, that you can at least take something of what I'm having to say, not to learn, but to think about. And then wonder if it applies to you or even anyone else that you know. I'm not giving information, I'm giving food for thought. That's all I ever try to do when I can do it. And I try to be a little bit entertaining on the backside of it. Just not on the dildo side of things. For other people, they go to other places. And honestly, when I have conversation with them, or I ask them why they go there, they can't give me an answer. So I'm like, I just been going there for so long. So I'm like, so if you've been eating at a place that got a D rating in the window, you just keep eating there because you just kept eating there. Rats running across the floor, flies be going around, the zapper fall, the hits in people's food and everything. You're like, but I've been eating here for years, Resla. I can't change now. Well, you got to ask yourself why. Are you addicted to nostalgia? You can find addiction in that. You're afraid that things are not going to change, or afraid of things changing. Maybe there's something about the food, the thing that's there, that makes you feel like if you went somewhere else, it's going to go away. And think about it. If these are the things that we do possibly online, how many addictions that we actually are using that self-serve that we're actually doing in real life? Are you keeping people around because of nostalgia? Are you bugging certain people that come hang out with you because you have a fear of being alone? Are you addicted to being around specific people? You know, there was a conversation I had with a friend of mine, right? It was a funny conversation because we were just like awkwardly stumbling through the conversation, and it was just getting more funny over it, right? And I think I might want to have this conversation with a I might want to have this conversation with somebody at some point. But I think the moment I do, everything is just it's gonna go gay. Simply because for some reason gay people just seem to be the most thing that guys want to talk about. I never really understood it. I never understood it. I don't get it. It's either talking about women or talking about gays. I don't know how that became the standard for men. But we're supposed to be the ones who are smart, intellectual, came up with everything. We're more than about tits and ass. But the majority of conversations I seem to hear these days are about tits and ass. We're supposed to be deep thinkers. And that's typically not what I'm seeing these days. I I am I am trying. I'm at a point where I'm thinking I just want to unsubscribe to almost every channel that I just think it's gonna take a long time. I almost want to like unsubscribe from every channel just to see what would happen to my algorithm. What do I see? Typically, when it comes to what's more prominent on social media, it's my social media is rather mixed. I'm happy that I have a very good, diverse social media, but because I do content or I look at particular content, other things sneak in. So for me, most of my content is food. Gaming shows up because I play games. I play video games. And then other stuff shows up to be either notifications for people who are doing streams, which most of them I don't watch. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. And of course, DNP shit or watching creators who like to react. And most of the time, those people who react are reacting to celebrities, and most celebrities are getting into DNP. So these are the things that pop up. I get to get weird notifications that pop up about relationships and sex. People who I watch who do reactions are talking about people who get involved with relationships and sex. Then there's uh my behavioral psychology side that pops up. Then there's my food side that pops up. And there's my video game stuff that pops up. That's that's basically what shows up in my algorithm. It's normally circling that thing. And normally the games that pop up are typically the games that I'm currently playing. That's really my main algorithm. My other algorithm for my other email, it's all over. It's all over. The only thing I'm very happy about with both emails for pages is that they're not animal related. Some people like all they get is uh debates, debate pages, like news. Maybe they're subscribed to, who knows, these OnlyFans models, but maybe they do other things on freaking line. Probably. Oh, I do get videography and photography stuff from time to time because that's what I did for a while too. So these are the things that are really on my page. But when I look at other people's pages, I'm just like, what do you got on your page? They're like, well, this is all I really do. I'm just like, all day, this is all you do. So that means anytime you're bored, this is what you do. You just watch panels. Nothing else can be interesting. Nothing. No, well, you can't watch porn on YouTube. Oh, so that's the other thing that you do. Shit. Okay. Well, I mean, it's all on you. It's your thing. YouTube, you don't please don't add that addition. I think people should be engaged with things that's gonna make their lives better, not just distract them. Because one day you're gonna die. You should make yourself useful to people around. And sometimes that useful thing might inspire you or make you absolutely learn something that you didn't learn. You you can use the internet for more than just distractions. And by the way, if you're gonna distract yourself with something good. For instance, this is just me. Because I wonder sometimes what what are you mofos really watching me for if the bulk of what I talk about are things that are dealing with everyday people or psychological things that people are going through or human behavior, because that's what I tend to watch. That's what I tend to watch. So I hope I am not your window into that because that's not my role of responsibility. I'm hoping that you'll be curious to go do these things on your own. Like I said, I read my other books. I'm still going through this damn Bible over here. I'm still going through this. And and what is it? A behavioral ops manual. I like people. I like knowing how people tick. I am always a person who's interested in how people think and how people got to a particular conclusion. What are they thinking? What could they possibly be going through based on how they're moving, how they're interacting? Is the way that they're actually moving based on them in defensive mode, them being relaxed? Are they moving a particular way because they're liars, or are they moving that way because of a culture? These are the things that go through my mind. But you know what? You don't really get that sitting on your ass watching social media. So if I am going to sit down and I'm going to listen, that's why I say I rarely ever sit down and I am glued looking at my phone. If I do that is when I actually have time to sit down, and that's when I'm watching like Kev or Resto or Sarah or something like that. Like the few times I'm actually able to do so. Outside of that, most of my time I'm doing things and I'm listening to things. I am not glued watching things. I am doing something in the background and listening to it in the background. That's what's typically going on. Uh, no, some people some people do know what's good or better for their lives. The thing is that it's easy. The same thing as this, Gatsby. It's easier. It's for them. It's easier to sin than to do good. And the sad part is that it's a mindset because there are two easies. There's easy to do and easy not to do. The question is, which are you putting in which bucket? It would be easy to do the things that will be beneficial for you. Because if you can do it, it is easy. But just the opposite. It's also easy not to do those things. So what is the thing you're going to put in that bucket? The path of least resistance. I agree. People have to look at their lives like this, because this is the way I look at my life. You're literally in sneakers, whatever clothing you want to put on. Some of you guys might want to think of yourself naked. Why? I don't know. Whatever. And you're literally trying to go upstream. You're in the river trying to walk upstream. You got to take small steps. And you're getting tired. And it may be cold. And you may feel some weird things hitting your legs from time to time. And you feel tired. And sometimes it just feels like it would just be easier to just pick up your feet and let go. And just let it take you away. Let the current take you away. Let Jesus take the wheel, as it may. But the truth of the matter is that if you really want to go somewhere badly enough, regardless of how tired you are, then you got to go do it. I'm not saying you're going to love it. I'm saying that when you finally are able to get out that river, your legs are going to be so strong. You're going to be so strong. You're going to be so resilient. And enough people don't have enough ambition to really make it to the end. Because you're going to be tempted. There's going to be all kind of things by the riverbank while you're in the water. There'll be bears. There'll be coyotes. They may be a fine man or a fine woman, whatever you're into, trying to convince you to get out the water, to come towards them. It's like sailors out in the sea. You got the sirens. They try to get you to come through. Mermaids in the water. You got to stay in the goddamn ship. So when you're going up this damn river, you're going to feel all kind of things hit your leg, and you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's kelp. You don't know if it's other fishes. You don't know what it is, but you got to keep going. Because those things, all these elements are things in your life. You're going to have haters. They might be the bears. They might be the wolves howling from the distance. And they could get in the water too with you. But they're looking for you to be tired enough to just surrender. They'll meet you downstream. There might be people trying to pretend like they're helping you. Come this way, I'll help you. Try to convince you. They throw the line out, hoping that you'll grab the line. So they'll pull you, take you away from your path. And you got to make the decision to resist them. Because you're like, I'm going to make it. And here's the sad part about it, folks. When you get out the riverbank, you will be more resilient. But it still doesn't mean that you're going to get what you're going to get. It doesn't mean that you're going to get what you want. That's the honest truth. But you'll be so resilient that if the thing that you're looking for doesn't pan out because of all the other shit that you learned, that you picked up, that you got strengthened by, you can just easily go somewhere else. That thing that you want, you're like, I didn't get it. But now I got all the other skills. I guess I'll go do this then. And you'll be able to prove that you can do these other things. Look at it this way. Case in point. Let's just say I didn't want to do content anymore, right? Just for the hell of it. Say I got years in the docket. Say I got 10 years in this bitch. I ain't want to do content no more. I'm done. Think about all the things that I learned over time to get here. The systems, the time frames, the people, the engagement, learning analytics, how to build a following, all these different little intricacies, how to work the program, being good on camera, being a decent host, being a decent co-host, whatever. You don't think these are marketable skills? Versus the person who says, I got a social media degree. Okay. Show me a marketing plan. This is what we're thinking. Here and is our target market, and this is what we're looking, and we're expecting this kind of growth. And I'm like, have you started a channel? No, but you never started a channel? No, but if you follow my game plan, we can make you here by. So, you've never been on camera? Well, yes, I've been on my camera when I'm talking to myself, like, hey guys, this is great. FaceTime my friend. Doesn't these shoes look good? So you never actually been there for hours talking. You've never actually engaged with people that you couldn't see. You never actually received comments, questions, emails, Discord messages, none of that. No, but I have so many other talents. No, wait. You probably do, but they're not practical. Everything that you're throwing to me is theoretical. If I started a company and let's say a podcast, and I need a co-host, you're a nice little pretty thing. You get a nice look to go, but you wouldn't be ready because you would be warming up to everything I spent a decade doing. You would get there eventually, but I don't have a decade for you to warm up. I'm ready to go. Let's flip it around. Say there's an interview. Someone's looking for a good co-host for a show. I walk in. Do they want the person to say that I've been studying how to be a social media person? I'll make a great co-host because I really like this show and everything. And I walk in and I say, I don't really have a resume. I don't have a degree in social media marketing, but I spent 10 years on different social media platforms doing X, Y, and Z. Here's what I have here. Here's my backlog, my catalog of all my work. I know different systems. I got microphones. I got cameras. I know lighting. I know, I got a previous background in not only photography and videography, but I also have it in production. I was a lighting designer for years. I'm like, sorry, sweetheart. Who are they going to pick? Those who do versus those who think about doing. This is why we talk about you could win the $1,000,000 and throw it all away. But if you learn to earn $1,000,000, if you threw it all away, the knowledge that it took for you to earn that $1,000,000 will help you earn that $1,000,000 again whenever you want. Because your knowledge of the marketplace, your knowledge of the do's and don'ts will carry you. If you gave that money all away after just winning the lotto ticket, you have no goddamn clue how to get that money back. We're talking about experience. Experience and the behavior of that experience, what you get from it. So, if you find yourself still trekking through those waters, keep walking. Keep walking. And it may not turn out to be what you want in the future. But you'll pick up so many other good skills along the way, you'll be able to use them. And the sad part about it is that you've been doing them for so long, you're gonna really appreciate and love those skills that you hated getting along the way because you're actually going to be paid well and appreciated for it. The things that you didn't want to do, that you didn't like, people will celebrate you for it and they'll pay you for it. Go fucking figure. Like, I didn't even want to do this shit, but you want me to do what? That's easy. And to them, it's fucking rocket science. It's just, it's so difficult. I have to edit my videos. I do all that stuff. I don't have an editor. I do all that shit myself. But every quarter, every year, whatever, I see my work gets better. There'll probably be a point somewhere down the line where someone's gonna see my videos and they're gonna be like, he definitely got somebody doing his shit. And it won't be anybody, it'll just be me. And the funny part about it is it gonna make me better, because if I ever do get to a point where I'm really good and I can hire somebody, they can't bullshit me. They can't bullshit me because I also know how to do it. Well, it's gonna take about this amount of time, and because the project's gonna be no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I've been doing this for X, Y, and Z. Just something to think about. So when you are out here doing your thing, hopefully tomorrow when you wake up, just do yourself a favor and think about what your addictions might be it online or be it in real life. Because a lot of people are not gonna call you out on the things that they think that they see, because the truth of the matter is that if it's not obvious, if it's not you popping pills, if it's not you snorting coke, if it's not you drinking, whatever, it's not the obvious things, a lot of people are not going to notice what your addictions are, because they're hiding behind things that are considered to be either mundane or just not obvious, like your need for attention, like your need to be seen, your need to be around the group, your need to feel like you're one with the group, your need not to be alone, your need to be the loudest person in the room, your need to be the smartest person in the room. I think a lot of people don't really want, I think a lot of people say that they don't have addictions. I think a lot of people know what the addictions are. And because they don't call them what they are. They don't call them what they are. Oh, I'm no longer drinking. I'm not lonely. I'm busy. No, you're keeping yourself busy because you don't want to sit by yourself. You don't want to sit and get that demon that's going to hit you in the head when you're sitting in the dark by yourself. Oh, I'm going to go to sleep with the TV on and everything. And when I'm outside, I'm going to go to a party and I'm going to keep moving and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. And there's a lot of people who, like, they're addicts. No, not, here's the thing. Everybody has something that they crave. Not everyone's an addict, though. The people who really get to know themselves really well and get the proper treatment that they're looking for, they're not addicts. If you can call it out and refrain from doing so, you're making changes all the time. If you see it and you feel like you can't take yourself away from it, you're an addict. Resto says listen, he's addicted to those things. I'm good. I can see toxic females, and I've dealt with toxic females. And you know what I can see when I look at them now? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Doesn't matter how fine she is. I'm like, you know what I like more than your looks? My peace. I like my peace. I'm good. That's my business. I'm not gonna share my addictions. Like I'm not addicted to drama. I'm addicted to peace. I have my time in drama, and I realize it got me into way more shit than I wanted to deal with. So I'm good. I prefer my peace more than anything else. You know what's a good day for me? Nothing fucking happened. Nobody fucked with me. Good fucking day. It was it. I don't care if it was raining. I don't care if it was snowing. I don't care if it was hot out. Nobody fucked with me. Nobody gave me no bullshit. No one called me for no bullshit. No one texted me anything weird. No one gave me no bad news. No, I didn't walk outside and step into a cold puddle on the floor. I didn't like. I didn't. Nothing. No, nothing bothered me. I'm good. Going to a stream. Stream was fine. Didn't get nothing fucked with me on my computer. It was. I'm gonna say like a restaurant. The day was fan fucking tastic. I fucking love it. If that and those days are so far and few in between. So when I get those are days where I'm like, fucking gratitude. I don't want nothing to ruin this day. I might just take my ass to sleep early just so I can seize the rest of the day. I didn't wake up with a backache. I woke up refreshed. The day didn't fuck with me. Like nothing wrong. I didn't wake up cold. I didn't wake up hot. I'm good. Like those are the days. That's a beautiful day. Walked outside, perfect breeze. Ain't over hot, ain't too cold. Just when you go walk outside at nighttime and it's perfect weather. Like I don't even want to go home. It's just I don't want this night to end. But if I push my luck, something's gonna fuck with me. And this is a great day. Those moments mean more to me than people think. They be like, yeah, okay, wrestler, it's all good. Like, no, you have no idea. This was a great fucking day. Beautiful day. Through and through. Chalk this one up to one of the good ones because this is a rare one. I've had my time where I've looked for problems. I'm not that anymore. I realized I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time on shit that wasn't important. I realized the most important shit to me is just no one fucking with me. Good fucking day. Peaceful day. I don't give a fuck if I look into my bank account, I'm like, oh, I pay all the bills. Everything is good. Where's this magical money that's left over? To start looking, like, oh shit, I totally forgot about this money. Damn, it's a good fucking day. And you know what? I'm not even gonna spend it. I'm gonna let it sit there and accumulate. Good fucking day. I'm not gonna look to spend it. Forgot about it. I don't need to burn it. Good fucking day. What you choose to do with those addictions are good and bad, mama. You gonna tell me being too sex addicted is not a bad thing? Sex addiction is not a bad thing? Opioid abuse is not a bad thing? Mm-hmm. Feeling the need to play around with freaking pig shaped dildos is not a bad thing? Mm-hmm. No, it's not a bad thing. Eating Cocoa Puffs and smoking meth is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Not. It's not a bad thing. I beg to differ. I like cocoa pipe. I like Cocoa Puffs with my pipe. That's not a bad thing. No, no difference. dropping your kid off dropping your kid off to school, and then in front of the teacher take a key bump. It's not a bad thing. That's no difference, right? It's no. It's like, hey, hey, all right, you be good at school, kid. Good, have a good day at school. Bye. She's like, wrestler. I'm like, what? What? You want some too? Just getting my morning started. It's not not a bad thing. No difference. Hmm? No, no difference at all. No problem with that. None. Just saying. There could be something to that. I think there's a difference between good and bad addictions. I think the addictions that don't mess with anybody else are good addictions. The ones that fuck with other people are absolutely bad addictions. Well, here's the thing about that. There are people who have addiction to stay alive because if they die, they can't get the next fix, right? I can't die. How am I going to smoke tomorrow? So there are people who are absolutely addicted to staying alive. But let's be honest, there are people who are so addicted that they will choose their fix over paying rent. They'll even have rotted teeth talking about they'll blow probably their landlord just to be able to stay in the house. And if they manage to stay there, their landlord's a piece of shit. That's crazy. I'm not saying they should get kicked out. Probably should be kicked out because they're not paying they're not doing their due diligence. But if he just lets he just said, all right, I'll give you another 30 days, and he walks out and he's pulling up his pants. He's a piece of shit. Mm, mm. Just something to think about. Well, here's the thing, Mama. Not, and I said it before. Not all addictions are substance, and there are people who will absolutely choose their addictions over anything else, over their own well-being. People who don't think, and because they want to be in the moment, will crash out. People, because they are so in the moment, are willing to go have sex with a person that they have no business having sex with, risking it. You know what? I know, I know this hoe is with the leader of a gang who's looking for her right now, but she trying to fuck people who will take that risk. Hey, technically, I ain't do nothing wrong. I mean, it's them that want to rob the bank. I'm just gonna sit in the car and just drive, right? I mean, even if we get pulled over, I mean, technically, I ain't do nothing wrong. I could just say I didn't. Really? You think that's gonna fly? Hmm? I just like to drive, man. I just like to drive. They just give me a reason to drive. So there are a lot of people because of their addictions, they don't make good decisions. Absolutely. Can't Burning pocket all the time. Absolutely. Their fairy godmother is a freaking credit card. Absolutely. They're constantly maxed out. I agree. This is not good behavior. They're people who will go shopping all the time, but they don't have any money for rent. Hoarding is an addiction. I agree. So not substance abuse, or rather just substance abuse, are the only addiction that people deal with. Because there are things that people can do all the time, and it's just a bad compulsion. There are some people, they don't even know why, but they keep smoking. Smoke a blunt, smoke cigarettes. They're like, I don't even care. I don't even feel nothing off the cigarettes no more. I don't even feel nothing when I'm smoking this weed. What else am I going to do? So they keep smoking weed. They keep smoking cigarettes. I don't feel nothing. I'm just going. Some things are habitual, but let's be honest. Habits can change. 90 days. 90 days to break your habit. So not only break, but reform a new one. 90 days. Not going to be easy, just to be consistent. 90 days. Difference between a habit and an addiction. They're different. Habits can be broken. Addictions are a bit tough. Because you could pick up bad habits and you could pick up habits that could be considered good, but they just get in your way. You could A habit is being nice to people when you shouldn't be, overly nice to people when you shouldn't be nice. To be a doormat is a habit. What's another habit, mama? People sniffing the chair when somebody else gets up. That's a habit that people have. That's not an addiction. It's a habit. And that habit should be broken. See, they call that a bad habit. They don't call it an addiction. I don't know anyone who says, I'm addicted to chair sniffing. It's a habit, but it's not an addiction. I talked about that too, mama. There are there are people who get themselves off a substance. They get themselves off of substances and they trade it in for other habits. And sometimes those habits are really not good. But this is my thing. I said they pick up habits that other people sometimes can't even really see as a habit because it's disguised. It's disguised as other things. Because a lot of people will say, well, this thing that they're doing right here is not as bad as the last habit or the last addiction that they had. So therefore, I don't think they really have an addiction. You know, I used to love bomb. I no longer love bomb. I used to love bomb everybody. Everybody used to love bomb them. No more love bombing. I was just addicted to love. And then now they're no longer love bombing. They're stalking instead. They're stalking. I know you weren't at the supermarket. They don't know. I put a locator in their phone. Well, here's the thing about that, Gatsby. Like your all addiction is well, all addiction is comfort. It is. But there are destructive comforts. Because the comforts can be about what they think makes them feel good in the moment. And sometimes people pick things what they see as being comfortable, but it damages them from the get-go. For instance, here becomes something that's an addiction. Bulimia. Being bulimic. Not much being comfortable about that. But it's an addiction. Mama, you know this. Cutters. That's a pain thing that can cause other issues down the line. Things that end up in your system, nerve shit that goes on in your neurons is going on in your fucking brain, things that you can carry in your freaking blood from all the cuts, bacteria shit, all that. That's an addiction. So there's many different type of destructive things as well. But to them, it's comfort because they're dealing with whatever they're dealing with, and that's their way of managing. There are people who their addiction is BDSM. They like to experience pain. To others, like to be asphyxiated. They just like to start seeing the pearly gates or thinking that they're going to see the pearly gates. Or it's their best way to get a release off. You gotta try it. It's the best way to get your nut. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. Well, isn't that the first thing that's already it's already to look at as being a problem, Gatsby? The fact of the matter is that most people who are addicts, until something astronomical happens, most addicts think that they can handle it. They don't see it as a problem. Something really bad has to happen before it's acknowledged to be a problem. And keep in mind, the problem with addictions, right? So I said this earlier as well, and it remains true. There are no cures for addictions, just management, just treatments. There are no cures for addictions. Actually, most people most people don't actually get it stopped. Most people actually get themselves committed by other people, or they learn to accept it. They actually don't stop it. They can't stop it. And I mean, like, there's some people like, well, at least they accept that that's part of their life, so they understand the thing that's going to put them under, that could possibly put them under. What's good, cousin Lawrence? What's going on? You know, acknowledging that you have a problem doesn't mean that the problem is now solved for sure. You know, actually acknowledging it makes people feel worse, to be honest with you. Um, sure, but let's be honest, that doesn't do anything to fix it though, Gatsby. It just means that what it means is now they know that they've been hiding from it, but now they know their shit's creek, and not every time they do it, they feel bad. And they probably even want to stop, to be honest with you. But they keep fucking up, which makes them feel bad. Now they can't even enjoy the thing that is an addiction. They can't enjoy it. They beat themselves over doing it. I think the only people I think that we can think that don't have that kind of feeling are serial killers. Like, I don't really feel bad about killing these people like this, but I just gotta do it. I think they're the ones that don't go through that. Yeah, I hear you, Mama. When you say a lot of people, that's why people have to change their lives. For a lot of people, that's not possible. For a lot of people, that's not possible. It's not possible to change your life, to just fix everything. Because who has that kind of time? Who has that kind of money? And who has that kind of energy to change one's entire life? It's hard for people to be on a diet these days. It's hard for people to buy the things that they need in order to make the changes that they need to make. There are people that, because of other social issues, they don't even want to give up their friends because maybe their friends and their family are the actual issue. I I hear you, mama. I hear you, mama. But like I said, not everybody's able to leave, and that's not like, well, fuck these people. And I'm just gonna get up and I'm gonna move. Because let's be honest, what's one of the major issues just here in the U.S.? Housing. A lot of people cannot just leave or be willing to start over. Because the things that'll get to them is loneliness, and the loneliness might lead to depression, and depression might lead them to a fix. Might. And as we already stated earlier, we get some addictions that lead to others. So maybe now, oh, the family or the friends or your environment, everybody's like, yeah, no, they're clean. They've been good. But the truth of the matter, you've been switching your addiction for something else. So maybe it's no longer taking opioids and now you're cutting and you're hiding it, you know? Maybe it's no longer heroin and now you're doing something else. And like, not for nothing, some addictions, like I said, some addictions are treated worse than others based on just based on rehab. It's I'm not saying what I said was a cure is impossible, Gatsby, but it's not impossible for a person to want to change their life. It's just it takes more fortitude than most people realize. And a lot of people break. A lot of people break because it costs more than what people really realize. Yo, what's good? It's good. You said most don't. What are the rates on regression? Normally people end up back there at least one or two more times, to be honest with you. Oh man, I don't even, I forgot the stats on how many people actually just go missing afterwards. Jesus Christ. Like they just don't go back, or like they do leave. I don't even know if they just leave or they just go missing as a missing person. Like again, depression can lead to other things. So what happens when you get what happens when you get an addiction that's not something you can treat? For instance, who's out here trying to treat attention? Who's out here trying to treat attention? Who's trying to treat the addiction of attention? I'm bored. I don't want to be in my head. Uh, my job doesn't like me. I'm gonna fire up a live stream and get satisfaction from people watching me. For instance, people who like they turn on a video game, or people who are talking about absolutely nothing, painting their toenails, shit like that, and just ranting about whatever. Could be something. You could be painting your toenails off the line. You could be doing that. You could be talking to a friend on the phone or something like that. That's not what they picked. So how do you solve that? Remember, mama, there are couples who absolutely have to go through therapy or they're arguing with family because there are people online who talk about their relationships. There are couples who have one person and it's probably a content creator or a blogger who blogs about their relationship because they need the attention, the validation. Attention is a drug. Because a lot of those people, they're not going to be able to suppress that either. You want me to give up what? Why are you making me choose? Can't do it. I can't do it. They convince themselves, these people need me. They need me. I can stop blogging whenever I want. These people need me. What are they going to do if I stop being online? This is also an addiction. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Awesome. Like as I said, addictions are not cured. You have to manage them, and sometimes, or oftentimes, people end up switching one addiction for another. But you'll always be an addict. And by the way, as I stated even earlier in this whole thing, we all have addictions. And again, habits are not necessarily the same as addictions. You can change your habits. You can switch addictions, but what's the underlying thing? What is the crave, the hunger, the urge? That thing, that is your addiction. It's not the substance that you use. Because you can switch to something else. And your substance doesn't have to be an opioid or inhibitor. It can be a booster. Like I said, clout, it can be that. It can be sex, the endorphins from that. I don't want to do meth no more. I'm going to do heroin. I don't want to do heroin no more. I want to do speed. I get my thrills off of getting in the car even and going, always breaking the speed limit. I can almost die. There are people, they switch things up for control, for the alleviation. And normally trying to get down to what that inner thing is the most important thing that people themselves, the actual people who are the addicts, have a hard time wrestling with. And like I said, we all have something. Some are more stronger than others, or rather, some are more criticized more than others. Let's look at it that way. Because let's be honest, Mama, you said you smoke. There was a time, Mama, whole big smoking campaign, right? Against smoking. TV show, smoking. Then there was the whole crack, heroin, your brain on drugs things. Now, I don't really watch classic TV anymore. But do any of you guys see any TV ads about crack cocaine or meth now? What about fentanyl? We see commercials about fentanyl? Not really. I don't. Do we see commercials about fentanyl? When you score on YouTube, do you see ads that come through talking about fentanyl? Because I don't. You say yes? Because I don't see them. And again, you said so you stop one thing and now you're smoking pot. It's like, cool. I mean, if that's your thing, if it's less harmful, that's cool. But like, let's be honest, even pot has its own thing of being harmful. It's still smoke inhalation in your system, you know. So there's no The idea is, what do we do to get things managed, but also what is the base, the root cause of the addiction. And I think most people really don't get down to that base thing. And here's the nasty part about it. Even if you understood, because I'm not too sure, you know, because there's no cure, right? There's no cure. Even if you understood the root cause, you really understand why this all happened. Not like pointing fingers at anybody. You understand what that urge is, what that demon is. Now you have to be okay with the fact that you know what that urge is, you know what that demon is, and still knowing how to live with it. Because now you got to prep for it. I think most people end up just succumbing to their urges. They need someone or something to distract them, and normally this comes in the form of what? Picking a new addiction. Because I know some people say, "Well, you know what? I'm not smoking weed no more because I used to go crazy smoking weed. Now I just, when I get that urge, you know what I mean? I ride around the block and I see an old lady and I get out my car and I punch in the face, and that normally makes me feel better. Punching old ladies in the face to fix a weed addiction is like, can we can we switch to a new addiction? Because you're harming other people. It's just, I think a lot of us, we should really think about what are the things that we do, and again, not the habitual stuff, but the actual addictions, not the stuff that we just find as a hobby. That's not the same thing. Things that we know that we keep doing that we really don't want to do. And I'm not talking about you being an asshole. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. You don't have an addiction to be a dick. You have a habit of being a dick. There's a difference. Because no, it's an addiction. I can't stop. I can't. You can stop. You can stop, or one day you might be stopped. Something to think about. And I agree with that, Mama. But as I said, some people, you know what your addiction. You learn what your addiction is, right? You know what your choice of addiction is. Let me put it that way. You learn what your choice of addiction is. But there are people who, like, even if they know what their choice of addiction is, they're not they're not wrestling with the root cause of that addiction. Like, why are you doing that? I understand that I understand that you smoke, but why do you smoke? Not like, oh, I've been doing this since I was a kid, like, no, no, no. Why do you smoke? Like, if you could give it up, would you? And when most people are asked these questions about their addictions, I would say the majority of people, depending on the addiction, will say yes. If I could give it up, yes, absolutely. I would. I know it's not doing well for me. Yes, I would give it up. Okay, well, let's start with, why do you feel the need to have it? And then, well, because I get these urges, I get these feelings or whatever. Okay, cool. When was the first time you got this urge? Feels like psychiatry right now. I know. Like, what were you doing when you first got this urge? How did it happen? Was it at a party? Were you stressed? Was it a fight at home? But when? Like, there's all these different things. And by the way, as you can see in the disclaimer, go see somebody for mental health. I'm not that guy. You can go see somebody for mental health. I just bring on the question, the food for thought. Because we all got something. Because plenty of people smoke weed, but They smoke weed or they're on particular opioids because why? Not because of some trauma, or rather, let me not say trauma. That's probably inaccurate. Not because peer pressure or something like that. It could happen that way, but you can quit. You can quit that. But there's a lot of people I know who smoke and all kind of stuff because, or take opioids because they're in pain. They have traumatic injuries that took place. They were in an incident, things like that. And there were just some people like they didn't have any of those problems. There was speed or coke or whatever, because they're like, at work, I just need to stay up for work. Okay, well, why do you feel like you need to stay up for work? That requires you to take coke or speed. Like the merger, I need to get this. I was doing the person in my team, but no, we hear you. Why? We understood you had a job to do, or you felt the pressure of having the job to do. But why did you decide that that was the route that you needed to take? And then you go down the root cause of your mind, like, damn, was I just trying to be the top in my company? Was I just I was aiming for a raise, or I was promised something or whatever? Like, it's because I felt like I wasn't enough for my family or my friends or my wife or my kids. Or these are questions. And I think most people end up defaulting to the addiction itself, the choice of the drug to suppress the urge, rather than the root causes as to how it got started from the beginning, how it got started. Not, well, this is what happened, this is how I was feeling, and this is how I got there. Yep. That's important. Well, this is what I do. Cool. Why do you do it? Well, because it makes me feel good. Okay, cool. When was the first time we felt that way? Why did you feel you wanted to choose that thing? Why did you choose that thing? Of all the, let's just be honest, of all the things you could choose, why did you choose that thing? What pushed you in that direction? And again, not therapy time, just putting some questions out there. Blind, I've been on for 3 hours. I've been talking about addictions for a while. And I've been talking about multiple types of addictions. We're not talking about just substances. We're talking about behavioral as well. I've talked about social media when it comes to addictions. I've talked about people who want to party as an addiction. I've talked about actual substances as an addiction. I've talked about how people switch one addiction for another. We've talked about a whole bunch of different stuff when it comes to addictions. And then, of course, I made some fun of some people in here. Yeah, we talked a lot. We talked a lot about addictions today. A lot. And again, the ideal is not about the control of the addictions. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we all have an addiction. But the question is, what kind of addiction do we have or had, and what do we switch them for? And then on top of that, like, what what are the things that our addictions chose us? That's something we really didn't talk about, and that's something we probably should talk about at a future date. The addiction that we didn't choose. For instance, social media. We didn't choose it. We chose to be curious about it because we're all curious. We're all human beings. Human beings are just naturally curious. Social media picked us, but there's a root cause behind that. What chose us behind social media? Advertisement. Because advertisement is marketed to the consumer to pick up people as consumers, to pick up new what? Addicts. Things are marketed to you, and then you get a hit, you like it, and you keep coming in. That's what your likes are like. Your dislikes are like. Your subscriptions, your subs, your memberships. Small little things. You get added badges to you. I want to be a wrench. I want to see my name changed. Hey, I know I really didn't do anything on your channel. I was wondering, could I get a wrench? Why? I just like having a wrench near my name. You don't think that's an addiction for validation? The self-importance of other people seeing you with a wrench, you don't think that is not a line of addiction? Well, it's not hurting anybody, not helping anyone either. And I never wanted it. And I told you the very same night, and I told you to take that shit away. Never wanted it. Never asked for it. If I could throw that wrench through your window, I would. I never asked for it. I was like, take your fucking wrench. To oxygen. Well, no, me neither, Lawrence. Doesn't bother me. But what? Yeah. Let's be careful in here. Be careful in here. We're none of us are actual psychiatrists, sociologists in here. Let's be careful. So everything we do, we give opinions on. Just opinions. Gotta feel like I gotta go to my disclaimer real quick in case people in YouTube want to start reading my chats. Disclaimer, YouTube. It's a thought-provoking discussion. That is all. But yeah, that's that's pretty much that's pretty much all I've got for now. I got some other stuff I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing. I don't think so. I I wouldn't say bigger burden than others. You just really have. We talked about this earlier as well. Obama brought it up. Um, and I just said I said there are addicts who harm themselves, and there are addicts that harm others. The ones that harm others are the worst ones. That's all. If you're harming yourself, it's already bad, but the damage you're doing is yourself, which could affect other people. Could, but it's better than you having your addictions and you're taking it out on other people. That's the worst one. You can be a substance abuser and freaking beat up on people, or you can also have bulimia and you're doing damage to yourself. I think I was making a comparison between that before, or somewhere along those lines. And no one just stays on their own addictions if they truly want to change. But there are no cures for addictions, just treatments. And it's really hard just to go through the treatment. Mama made a great choice, great point, because a lot of it has to do with also your environment. You can say that you want to change, but You have to also change your environment, and that becomes very difficult for a lot of people because a lot of people are not in the position mentally or financially to change their position. A lot of things are easier said than done. So we wind up switching one addiction for another. And and the thing about the outside, this I'm kind of regurgitating for you, Blind. The thing about the outside is that there are a lot of people because of how certain addictions happen or how certain addictions are transformed into other addictions that look minor. People think that the other person doesn't have addiction no more. So maybe you're a person who used to pop pain pills. I no longer take pain pills. Yeah, that used to be my addiction. I'm no longer taking pain pills. Oh, I used to smoke weed. I'm no longer smoking weed. But now you spend all of your attention, say, doing um live streams. Now you spend all your attention sex. You spend all your attention. Now you get your thrills off of going fast on the highway. Now you get all your fucking thrills, you know, trying to rob banks. Yeah, anger is also an addiction. Well, here's the thing. I think anger is more than an addiction. I think there's already something mentally there's already some dissociation there, and there's also something going on. I don't know if it could be trauma, whatever. So it's not like, oh, I just drink and the alcohol made me mad, or the opioids made me mad, or weed made me mad. You know, I was sniffing paint thinner and it made me mad. There's something already there, and again, that's also a part of the addiction phase. Like, what is that thing? What is that root cause that when you engage with these actions. I was about to say substances, but it's not always substances. When you engage in these actions, what is the root cause behind that? There are people who they're willing to take their clothes off online because they feel like no one ever really sees them. I feel like I wasn't enough, so I take my clothes off. So I want everyone to see me so I can feel like I'm enough. So I need all the validation. I need everyone to tell me that I'm beautiful, that I'm hot. And I get it. It's only $5.99 a month. But the validation though, there's lots of things. And it's just a matter of just really understanding how the person gets there. Maybe they were told, yeah, I agree, mama. Maybe they were told they weren't pretty. Maybe maybe they are pretty, but they don't understand why they are not getting the results they're looking for. Maybe a boyfriend, maybe they were in a relationship and they got their heart broken. For instance, revenge. You didn't want to safeguard my relationship or safeguard my body, so now I'm going to share my body with everybody to get even with you. It's like, wait, what? So because you felt like I disrespected you, now you're gonna get disrespected by everybody else as revenge for me? Huh? What? Addictions don't have to make sense, but they do need to be clarified. They do need to be clarified. Horse races. So is it horse races like watching them? Oh, you said betting. Shit. That's an addiction. Yeah. Gambling is an addiction. A very big one. Yeah, that's a big one. The ponies. Well, we know this too, blind. People absolutely do get addicted to toxic. And here's my thing: it's pandered, it's promoted well before social media. This is why Jerry Springer was big. This is why freaking Maury was big. This is why a lot of the relationship D&P content that you see up there is so big. You, it is rare. Not that it's rare. Even the ones that talk about how we need to pull relationships together, the majority of the content is going to be mainly about the division between the two. It is rare that you get content from someone who's only purely trying to piece things together. They give you a little bit of love, a little bit of hate, or a little bit of love and a lot of hate. It's like, what's the meal and what's the sides? The healing is the sides, the hate is the meal. And then they wonder why people are really not all that interested in the sides. It's too healthy. Give me that fatty, cholesterol enriched, salty hate. That's what gets the most traction. Not because it's beneficial, but because it's distracting. And especially it's big now because why? The entire world has pretty much backed out of relationships. The entire world is pretty much backed away from coupling. Every 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 continent has backed away from relationships. I'm thinking about it like, nope, every continent has dipped in birth rates. Everyone. Relationships are doing poor in every continent. Here's the funny part about that, Austin. Here's the funny part about that. Those words have been said by people that said, I can't afford to lose. And you know what they said? I can afford to lose the house. I can afford for my kids not to go to private school. I can afford to lose that car. I can afford to have my girl's coochie work off that debt. The mindset is very different for a lot of people. So if you got a limit, hold fast to that limit. But some people's addictions are put them at a point where they have very low limits. That they cross those lines a lot. They keep going further down. They don't know where the line is. You know, here's something I didn't think about, and I don't know why I'm thought about this now. The ideal, or rather, the aspect of addictions. Addictions are affecting your moral character. The person that you know that you are, the person that you're trying to be, and your addictions getting in the way with that. Because now you're talking about willpower, not discipline, because not really the same thing. Willpower, you fighting that urge to overcome it. I don't know why I didn't focus on that. I was so focused on the keying of switching one addiction for another. But when what about those when you understand? Like when you understand what it is and like you feel the urge and then like you're fighting that now. You see that? You can't lose what you don't own. Oh, see that's treacherous. That is treacherous territory, okay? That's treacherous territory there. Warriors, some are addicts in war. We said the same thing about rebels, right? Problem with rebels is that when the war is over, they're still looking for a new fight. That's an addiction. Addicted to war. Addicted to a fight. Addicted to a cause. There are people who are addicted to purpose. I didn't even consider that one, but it's true. There are absolutely people who are addicted to purpose. A great example of that is people who are religious, addicted to purpose. Back in the days where you had kings, kingdoms, lands to be defended, addicted to purpose. People willing to go fight and slaughter for their land, for their kings. Do anything, self sacrifice. Hey, if you look at it this way, people who are looked at to be our spies across the world, willing to give up their lives for the mission, purpose, addicted to purpose. Do gooders. Yeah. What caused what? I'm like, what happens when you get that urge and you're like, I should probably not do this thing, and you get that thing on your shoulder that's just like, you gotta do it. We need to do it. If we don't do it, it's not gonna get done. It's not gonna get done. It's gotta be us. Somebody else might get it wrong. What's that thing? This will be the last time that we do it. After that, we can go on a break. We'll go on a break after that. Last time. We swear. Last time. Or, you said that last time. Stop playing. You know you want to do it. You know it's not. You know this is not going to be the last time. Last time was last time. And the time before that, and the time before that. You might as well just do it. Just do it. You know you want it. Just give in. Path of least resistance. Stop fighting it. Something to think about. See, you said tell you you're lying. I can't tell you that because that is not a situation I'd be in. Let me tell you why it's a situation I wouldn't be in. I don't gamble. I do not gamble. And you can ask the chat here. That's something I refuse to do. I take it rather serious, to be honest with you. I don't even like gamble. Oh, it's just $5, just $5. No, I don't. Nope. I don't even open myself up to that because I've met people who gambled and I've seen what they lost. And I'm like, I don't bother. Now, when I say I don't gamble, let me put some context on that. I don't gamble finance. I don't gamble assets. That's what I don't gamble. I don't gamble my money. I don't gamble my I don't gamble my relationships. No, I don't gamble my assets, things like that. To me, life is a risk. And sometimes you have to gamble on that. So I will gamble on my skills. I will gamble on, opportunities. I do that from time to time. But my asset, things that I know I need or other people around me are relying on me to have, I don't gamble that. I'll make a gamble on myself. I won't gamble with things that are going to affect me long term or affect the people that's around me. So I don't do that. So if I need a car to get to work, I'm not gambling my car. If I got my house, I ain't gambling my house. I need a house. Never gambling my girl, you know, like there are guys, look, guys and girls who want to do that. Girl come knock on the door. I open the door. Yo, what happened? What's going on? Yo, who that? Yo, I lost a bet with her, and now she's here. She gotta suck your dick. Wait, whoa, what? It's three. It's 3 in the morning. What do you? Why are you here? Who is she? Never mind that. I lost the bet. She said I gotta bet your man's dick, so she come here. I lost the bet. Now she gonna suck your dick. Whoa. Yo, if you don't do that, she said she gonna fuck me up. She gonna stab the tires and she gonna drag the tracks out my hair. Nigga, don't act like you not. Don't even act like you not gonna like it. Just nigga, just get hard and she can just do her shit and then she can leave and then we good, baby. We good. That would be. I don't know if that would be a nightmare or a dream. I don't know. I don't know if that would be a nightmare and a dream. I don't. Guess the context is what the girl looks like, right? Just saying. Like, so you never know. I just think it would be weird to get that freaking knock at the door or whatever and just be like, yo, I'm caught off guard. And did you bet me? You betted me. You bet my car? No, no, no. You ain't bet your car. You bet my car? No, 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 no. Yeah, it'd be weird. But there are some people that they got that. So I made sure, at least I try to make sure, like I damn for sure don't be betting, and I try to make sure I'm with somebody who would not bet. Now, you gonna gamble on yourself, gamble on your own abilities. I can't be taking no chances though. Hmm. Gosh, I'm gonna take off. I am gonna take off. It is 12:50 my time, so it's almost 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm trying to think about what the next thing I'm gonna talk about is. I got some ideals. Having this conversation, I guess today, and I guess at some point when I wake up tomorrow, if I find some free time, I'll go digging through some of this as well to try to remember some of those points. Outside of that, it's gonna be the thing. What's today's Tuesday? It is Tuesday. Shit, I definitely gotta go to bed. I got an appointment in the morning. Um, hmm. We'll see what happens there. Yeah. If anything, look out for the notification. If it's not later today, um, then probably yeah, we'll just see it for the next time. But I will be going again later this week. Um, yeah, and we'll rock it out from there. So I'll have to see what I'm going to talk about, and then I'll lay it out. If I do get it early enough in my mind, I'm going to just put it as an upcoming stream, and then you guys will get the notification early. So after that, take care of yourselves, and I guess I will see you in the next one. Let's see if all the stuff was not working properly before. Let's see if this works out now. And I'll see y'all guys in the next one.